lawyer in velvet gown, whispers of law beneath the moon's sweet glow. He's here to guide you through the undertow, from tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. He'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. The lawyer's voice smooth like leather, he's singing lives only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark.
Good afternoon to everybody out there. It is effing Friday, man. How about that? Happy Friday to y'all. This is Omar Serrato with the Tilted Lawyer podcast. I'm joined by the Schnitzel Ninja, world famous, and joined by the up and coming rising star, Anita the Redditor, who just joined me on my other live stream about Blake Lively. And she's making her debut on Family Law After Dark. And Nina, I'm not sure you know what you're getting yourself into, but we're going to do our best. Bruce is gaming, I think, and Brad is off doing stuff. And so it's just going to be us three. So there's going to be a lot of female energy in the room today.
Oh, man.
And so I'm going to have to do my best to carry the testosterone load. Yes. I'm pretty confident. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, how was your guys' week?
Hi. Sorry for making you wait. I'm a bit passionate.
It wasn't Anita's fault. We ran 10 minutes late because of her brilliant theory. So,
I'm sorry.
No apology necessary.
None at all. I'm often late on this show. Like one would argue, habitually late, and so it's fine. How you guys been? How's your Friday going so far?
It's good.
Let me ask you a question. Do you guys have beverages in tow?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
What you drinking? What you drinking today?
I have Woodford.
Oh.
I have water. Sorry.
I'm all out of whiskey, so I'm drinking some cheap white wine that I had in the office.
Sick.
So it's what it is.
White wine is my least favorite. I used to work at a wine shop.
Yeah, that's why I'm drinking it here, because it's like I got a case accidentally delivered to my house, and it's like one of those sampler packs. And so I just picked like the stupidest, cheapest one that I was like least interested in. I was like, drink it here. So that's what I have on tap. It was even like one of those twist off caps, not even a cork. It's like, yeah, this is definitely the one that I'm sacrificing.
$4.99.
At
Are-
least
Are
college
like
liquor.
beverages such a big thing in the States? Like,
Why are they? Oh, they're not. They're not. I would argue that they're a bigger thing over in Europe.
no, I mean, like, is that an alcoholic? I have no idea what you're talking about. So that
Oh, I'm talking about.
When he says beverage, he's referring to an alcoholic drink, but beverage at a restaurant would just be like
a drink.
or
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. See, I got the whole context of that question.
Otherwise,
wrong.
you'd say a cocktail or a beer or a wine or whatever. They'd call it usually by the specific name.
Cocktail, emphasis on tail.
Tail.
All right. Should we get into some of these? Let's get into the first case. How about that?
Let's do
That's
it.
how we should start today. Let us be efficient for once.
For once.
Anita, I have no idea how old you are. How old are you?
I am 33.
All right. So you're of age at least. I want to just make sure I'm not talking like a 15-year-old or something.
You could
Do I
say,
sound like one?
I have no idea. I would. I
never ask
once.
the lady her age. You could just say, "Are you over 18?"
No, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm good with my age.
I once
can
thought
finally
Schnitzel
think
Ninja was a man.
properly.
You could do what properly?
Like think and make.
Oh,
I
think.
figured out. I
Oh,
figured out
yeah.
the case because I'm 33 now. So just
No, 33 is a good age. It's that's as old as Jesus. And so
Oh.
you're in good company. I think that's when he came to the end of his road. Someone would argue the beginning.
That's very promising.
What?
for me. I don't think I will be going anywhere soon, but okay.
All right. This gentleman, what is he on about? He says he is 42. He left his wife, also 42, after she kept making comments about me not being manly enough and not sure I did the right thing. Let's see what he's on about before I start jumping to conclusions. I don't have Bruce here to keep me in line. Well, to be like the adult in the room. I'm not very. I don't want to say I'm not adult oriented. I'm just a little more looser with the way that I think than Bruce has to be.
We'll see who fills the role tonight.
Well, all right, so here we go. We've been together since we were 18. Oh, it's like a Romeo and Juliet story.
Oh
Well,
man!
we were technically like 14, 15 years old back then.
Wait, can you?
word Thank you for that schnitzel as I spill white wine all over my wrist.
Sorry.
Like a cheap perfume.
Oh, all right. She was my first ever thing.
We can't see what you're reading. I don't think.
Oh, did I not share? What is
It's
going
sharing,
on with that? Is it not scrolling?
but it's not
You guys are-
scrolling. It just says
I'm-
42M left my wife, and then at the bottom thing we can see is original post December 14th, 2024.
I see what happened. I have it on here twice. That's what I did.
Double
And now, here we go. All right, so we've been together since 18. She's my first everything. Oh, I had one of those before. You know, it's funny when you're young. When you're a teenager. I was a very angsty teenager. I don't know about the two of you. But I was an angsty teenager and I was growing up as a man. And so you have all of these emotions and all of these things. And every girl that you meet that you have like a semi-crush on is like the apple of your eye. Like you could see the sunset rise and fall in her soul. And you tell her those things and you don't know what the F you're saying. That's the way you think when you're 18. That's why it's a really bad idea to make permanent decisions when you're in that ocean of hormones that are coursing through your veins and affecting the way that you think and logic and all of those things. Like Anita just said, at 33, she feels like now she has the proper mindset to come up with these theories. And so, I don't know. I'll tell you what. I've been practicing family law for 11 years now. I would say probably 80% of the married folks that come into my office looking for a divorce met between the ages of 18 or married between the ages of 18 and 23.
Oof.
So just let that sink in if any of you young folks are thinking about making some hasty decisions. I'm just saying. So the last few years, my wife has been making the odd comment about how my manliness and I've just brushed it, etc. And I've just brushed it off, but she's really stepped it up last year. What am I reading? What does this say? The last few years, my wife has been making the odd comment about my manliness, etc. And I've just brushed it off, but she's really stepped it up the last year, and I ended up leaving her about 3 months ago over it. I don't want this to sound like a humble brag, but I do think I'm quite manly. I'm so curious about you ladies' opinion about how you would define manliness. I'll give you my definition, but I want to hear your definition first.
Take it away, Anita.
Oh, I have no idea. So I'm thinking, I'm processing the question and the text he just read. So I'm trying to. Okay,
also, he spelled Ariana wrong for Ariana Grande.
God, that's definitely not manly.
Maybe
that is manly if he doesn't
coming out, or like, I don't know.
I guess, I mean, there's, I think, a traditional definition.
That's what I mean, like brawny man, chopping wood in the backyard.
Exactly. Like no emotion,
getting into bar fights,
not to sound very
chugging whiskey. I'm sorry, go ahead, Anita.
No, it's like, I think, not to sound cliche, I think being manly enough is actually not being scared to portray your feminine interests or whatever society might say. I think that's you're man enough, you believe and you trust in your manhood.
Anita,
bring it back to Justin Baldoni.
Could I challenge you for a bit on that? Could I just ask?
Sure.
Let me just push back on that. You just said a man that's not afraid to show emotion, correct? But what if you go to a filming of Snow White, the new one, and he starts crying?
I think something's wrong with him then.
I think there's trauma there.
You see?
That's something. No.
I'm just kidding because the movie got better.
Okay, now I'm going to challenge you back.
Okay.
Why do you think a man crying in Snow White is a woman thing?
Because there's nothing in that movie that would warrant crying, for one. We should pick a better movie. How about Titanic?
Okay.
Or one that would warrant tears.
Coco.
That is a good one. That is a good one. I don't know if you know Coco. It is the Mexican entry into the Disney world.
Yes.
Oh no.
Mariachi singers and all that.
Oh, it's so good. It's really
it's a really good movie. My daughters liked it when they were 1 and 2. Okay. It's not that I think that there's anything unmanly about crying at a film. It's just that I know that there are women out there that they would say, oh yeah, I want my guy to be emotionally available and all. But then you see them having an emotion and then it's not.
I feel like it's the Republican definition of manly.
I mean, I can say something about that. Have either of you been to therapy before?
Yes, I have. And I have a lot to say about it.
Oh yeah. I've been to therapy for 7 years.
Yeah.
For PTSD and 2 years couples. It's EFT therapy, it's emotional focus therapy, which kind of, So one of the things I know is if somebody's showing an emotion, it's a feeling that gets triggered, like a trauma or something. For instance, if you're reacting. So if there's something in a movie that makes a man cry, that doesn't make him not man enough, the question would be why? So you engage in the conversation and you ask. So yes, it could be maybe not manly enough, but it also means that, maybe there's something underlying there that, made him cry. And that's something that should be discovered. So that doesn't make him not manly.
Well, it might not make him manly, but it might make him less of a provider. Because what you just discovered is he's got some kind of underlying issue that makes him a risk. And that's how men view it. Men would view it you can't show any emotion. If you show emotion, it's a display of weakness, not just to men. I know it's sad. It's sad, 100%, but it's reality. It's how I grew up.
Yeah, but it's so good we're having this conversation. So so people, and you as a man, other men will hear you and be there's another person who would agree or who would listen to me.
I feel like I'm a reformed, toxically masculine person because I grew up in this world where, machismo and all of that kind of stuff. You couldn't show emotion. You couldn't you could have acknowledged that something made you happy, that something made you sad, something made you cry, something made you laugh. Your emotions had to be like condensed in such a way to not be visible at all. Like
You
I
get picked on. Like, I mean, if you're in the locker room with guys,
mercilessly,
like,
mercilessly, yeah. And so whenever a man, when they're growing up, when they show emotion, especially as a child or especially as a teenager, and in the environment that I was growing up in, I was like a wrestler. I was playing baseball. I was boxing. I was doing all these different things that were like masculine. And you're not going to dare like talk about your emotions or your feelings to any of them. And so no man knows how to talk about those things. But what I found, like when I got older, especially with my daughters, because I'm a girl dad, all of my children are girls. I got a 5 and a 6-year-old and an 18-year-old, all of them girls. I had to go to therapy to learn how to show my emotions a little bit better so that I could communicate with them, so that I'm not like this unemotional, objective lawyer type, whatever, trying to overanalyze and over logical everything. And so in an attempt to try to better communicate with them, I had to get in touch with my emotions. But what I found was there was literally like walls and blocks in my mind where I was not able to access certain memories that I had, certain emotions that I had, off limits. And there was no therapist that was going to make me. There was no person that was going to make me. And I feel like that happens to a lot of men because they're taught to condense and make invisible their emotions. So I feel what this guy is talking about. I really do. And it's important for men to be able to understand that it's not unmanly to display emotions. You don't want to be like a mess. Like you don't want to be like a fumbling, bumbling mess, like but that would be true of a woman as well. Like you got to be able to get it together. Like it's cool to cry, but you can't just be like a wreck and like throw yourself on the ground like a toddler.
You're allowed like a time frame. You get it out and then, say, understand what that was about. And then, you keep trying doing better next time and over until it doesn't become a wound in you anymore.
100%. And so I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't even read too much of what this post is about, but I understand what he's trying to say. He goes on to say, I like to bake. I like to cook. I like to do those things. I will make you a fresh creme brulee. I will make you whatever your desserts of your, whatever you desire. A cherry pie, an apple pie, a lemon meringue, whatever. I'll bake whatever, man. I'm into it. I like cooking. I don't think that that's an unmasculine thing to do. I think one of the most masculine things that you could do, like for a date, if you're a single guy out there, by the way, is cook up a Michelin star quality dish for your love interest. I promise you it's going to go well. I promise you it'll go well. And have confidence. Be confident in, like, show off your knife skills, show off your chopping skills, show you know how to like do the hors d'oeuvres and like do the seasoning and the basil and chop an onion and the shallots and all this stuff and do the whole thing. 4 courses. Cook up like a steak au revoir, and a peppercorn steak with like this sauce and, do the whole thing with the dessert and everything else. A 4-course meal. I promise you it's going to turn out well. There's nothing feminine about that. It's just you showing off skills, but there's so many men. Oh, well, that's a woman's job. No, it ain't. Says who? Tell that to Gordon Ramsay. Tell that to a Marco Pierre White. Tell that to a Jacques Pepin. Those are some of the most masculine men out there. And they could cook their ass off in the kitchen, is all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going on this rant. Let me finish this post. This guy says he thinks he's quite manly while just being a normal person. I'm tall. I work out a few times a week. I can do any DIY around the house. I can fix cars. I used to be an amateur boxer and cage fighter and still do it as a hobby to keep fit. The things she said that aren't manly about me are I like to bake. I like to cook. Could I just offer my opinion? I don't use the R word. I'm not going to use it here, but this lady is dumb. That's what she's criticizing. He likes to cook and he likes to bake.
Is he single? I'm married, but is he single? That's my next question.
He's about to be. because this lady is kind of
Yeah,
she's
get
just
out.
kind of dumb.
They said they left, right? 3 months prior.
Yeah.
If you're in California, call Omar.
It's like, bro, she's 2 years old and saying those kind. Well, you know what? Go find somebody else that will not bake, that will not cook, that doesn't keep in shape, that's not tall, that doesn't work out a few times a week, that doesn't have any idea how to change a carburetor in a car, or change your brakes, or change your oil for that matter, that can't handle themselves in a fight, and doesn't have like their own personal hobbies. Good luck with that. Good luck. Good luck. It seems to me that she found a gem. And she's calling him unmanly because, now I'm obviously taking this from his perspective. She probably has a whole different version of events. This guy continues, I don't drink. I don't care if other people do. It's just not for me. I like Taylor Swift. I gotta admit, that's kind of gay. I'm going to be the first one to say.
Why are you gay? Sorry.
Why are you gay?
He likes Taylor Swift, and now they're together.
I mean, hey, so does that tight end from the Chiefs. What's his name? I forget. I don't give a shit what music you like,
Travis
man. Kelce. My brother likes Travis Kelce.
Is that not what I said?
Yes, you did say that.
Okay.
My brother has a crush on him, by the way.
Oh.
He came to my house for the Super Bowl. He's like, I'm just here to see Travis Kelce. He's like, you would be the one to announce that. Charlie XCX. I don't even know what that is. Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter. My main choice in music will always be rap, but having a teenage daughter, these sorts of artists get played, and I like some of their songs, so I listen to them. I don't see that as a bad thing. Well, go listen to your Taylor Swift, and who gives a shit? I have a powerful car. That is not the measure of a man, but good for you. And a motorbike, but my preferred method of transport is a Volkswagen Up. It's a small car with a little engine, but it's just me in my gym. I don't see anything wrong with this guy. Maybe you guys could help me out. Where's the flaw?
I guess it's just what she's attracted to.
Somebody that does all these things but doesn't cook.
I mean, I guess she's probably Republican.
Oh, he gets into.
He's a Republican.
Yeah, so far it was more about physical. Now he's gonna get into his emotional things, or like his mental.
Well, let's see. This is a long post. I should probably finish. So I tend to walk away from arguments with strangers. That's honestly best to stay out of jail and to prevent somebody from accidentally dying. She perceives any slight as personal insult. If you cut in front of her in traffic, she's leaning on the horn. That's called immaturity and just being dumb. Look, there's lots of reasons to do road rage. I used to do it a lot in my 20s. You grow out of it. And if you don't, then you should. Don't say thank you if you hold a door open. She's screaming and shouting at you. It seems like she's the issue. If all these things are true, she's the issue. I would not be attracted to a lady like that has no home training. I just prefer to let things slide. An example is someone was being obnoxious to me on a night out for no reason. He was in my face, calling me all sorts of names, and even pushed me a couple of times. I just smiled at him and walked away, saying, I hope he gets home safely. When we got home, she said I embarrassed her in front of her friends by letting him talk to me like that. I said, what's the point of me knocking out a drunk kid who's half my size? She said, I'm a doormat for the world. That's just...
She's very bitter.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes me angry, because I'll tell you what would have happened. He would have hit that kid in the throat. He would have fell back and cracked his head open. He would have been in a coma for a couple of weeks and then would have passed away. And now he's looking at involuntary manslaughter charges. That's what could have happened. Mm-hmm. I've had literally a case like that before, where for the honor of his wife, this guy was defending his wife's honor, and he cracked some guy over the skull, and he died. Wow. That's why if you're in martial arts like that, you don't fuck around with these little stupid fights, because there's too many things that could go wrong. Mm-hmm. The guy could have a weapon. He could actually crack his skull open. Like, there's no safe way to fight somebody. I mean, there is, but it requires like choking them out, and that's dangerous. You never know if they're going to wake up. And so I don't know if the cuts from things she said are too deep, though. Since I've left, I've felt more relaxed and happier. I don't have to worry when I put on a song or want to bake a cake or cook something a bit different, what would be said. At the same time, though, it's scary it's scary, and she's all I've known, and being alone and meeting new people scare the life out of me. And I've never done that before. Everything is telling me I'm on the right path now, but I have a niggling doubts. I've never read that word before.
I want you to say it again.
Yeah. Yes,
A
please.
niggling doubts in my head that all those words she spoke about me are true, and I'm an annoying person that will be alone forever. Oh, look, man,
No,
I feel like
right.
Why the pity party?
I'm
though?
kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
all right. So that's basically the end of it.
But like, yeah, he's like, what does he say? 42 around there,
He's 42 years old.
and he's been with her since he was 18. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, like it would be hard. It would be hard to get back out there and make new friends and find yourself again. I think he should just focus on like making friends and figuring out who he is and coming like becoming whatever it's with therapy or like just going on excursions and like exploring.
Yeah.
But like come into his own before he entertains being in another relationship.
Well, I think it's really important, especially men that get trapped in these relationships. Not that he voluntarily, he didn't get trapped in anything, but he got into this relationship when he was younger. And his whole vision of what a woman is his wife, who is seriously flawed. He's going to go out there and meet other women and be blown away.
Right.
When my first marriage ended, I was blown away that there were like mature women out there and like other women that had other qualities that valued other things. And it was like really eye-opening. It's like, wow, I've been blind this whole time. And I was like in my late 20s. And it was just like this eye-opening thing. He's 42, but 42 for a man is not that old. For anybody, is not that old.
Yeah,
And
yeah, sorry.
no, but he can go out there and he can start dating and he's going to find people that appreciate all of the things that he is.
Mm-hmm.
The only caution I would have is that I've seen enough of these cases where he's not telling you the whole story. And I'm just waiting for the other side to drop when, he's an alcoholic and he's verbally abusive and he's physically abusive and all those things. And here's the pictures of my injuries and here's what the children have to say about it with all of their bruises. Oh, I've seen these cases. And I don't want to be cynical with this one. I'm just saying I haven't heard the other side. So I'm taking him at his word. That's all I have is his side of it. And to the extent that this is what's going on, then bro, just get the first one out the way. Just find somebody, go on a date, jump on whatever dating app, go to the bar, meet somebody old fashioned way and start living life. You only got like another 42 years left if you're lucky. 40 years, 30 years, whatever, man. Life is short. Go out there and have a good time. And do not worry. At 42 years old, you should be prepared to accept what you are as a person. If you like Taylor Swift, own that shit. If you like to bake and you like to cook, there is women that will throw themselves at you if you could do that well enough. I promise you. It is a manly thing to lots of women. And for your wife, for whatever reason, she's got this skewed sense of masculinity. That's her problem, man. It's not yours anymore. So go out there and explore. That's all I got to say to this guy. You guys have any closing thoughts before I move on?
No.
All right. How about that? I thought that was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this next one. Dragonfly became a YouTube member. Thank you so much for doing that.
Nice.
Yeah. What is the next one? The next one should be, this person says, I'm lost and broken. Lost and broken about what?
Let's see.
Oh, this guy's 30. You know what? Should we do one like a female one? Do I have any female ones?
I'm fine with this one.
All right. Well, then here it is. Oh, yeah, let's do this one. Okay. All right. I'm lost and broken. I need advice about divorce after 12 years. I'm 35. My wife is 34. This is Anita's age range. Not to throw her out there,
I'm
but
happily married.
yeah. By the way, I don't have the rule where you don't ask a woman her age because I'm married myself. So it's like,
To be honest, I'm okay with people asking my age.
I've never understood why you couldn't ask a woman her weight or her age. Like,
Well, it was
what do you
just
care?
a little joke, but also it's people online who are like trying to stay anonymous. That's more where my
Oh, well, then just tell me that you're like, just give me the wrong age then. You could stay anonymous.
Wait, I can understand it. Like if somebody has insecurity about age, like it's a fact.
Mhm.
Like it's a fact. I'm asking a
Yeah.
fact. So
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be long. Is it going to be long? Yeah.
That's what he said.
That's what she said. Or that's what she said.
She said, "This is going to be long."
is this what it means after dark? Is this
No, this
Yeah,
is
it's
we
pretty
get kind of
funny.
loose on this show, man. It's pretty
Okay.
standard for the show. We you
I'll
know,
try
we're not
to
so
make it.
lawyerly on this show.
Okay.
But yeah, so speak your mind is all I would say. By the way, do you subscribe to any pronouns that we should be aware about?
No, I mean, she, her.
I was going to tell you that I wouldn't
In
care
Europe,
if you
that's
did.
not a thing, by the way.
Oh, I know. In Europe, nobody gives a shit. It's not they don't care. It's just it's
I'm
an
in
American thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel like if I want to, like, if I would want a pronoun, I should announce it. I don't think it's other people's obligation to ask me. That's like, if I want specific, I think it's all good. Then you ask, and then they respect and do that way. But otherwise, I don't think it's a prerequisite to. Or is that too much of a European opinion? Am I getting cancelled?
No, I mean you can't get canceled on my show. I'll be the first one to be canceled. I'll just tell you. You do have to be careful about who you talk to in America because I had a conversation earlier today, and then I made a joke to this guy that I thought took offense to it. I made a joke about maybe she identified as being pregnant. And then the guy didn't laugh. I was like, oh, well, maybe I offended him somehow. Maybe I should have just cut off, with a stand-up routine. All right,
Want to
then,
know
here we
who
go.
that was said to?
Oh, later. All right, so okay, so this is going to be long and an old account for obvious reasons. All right, so too long didn't read. I found out my wife made out with someone else, and I don't know if I should divorce, forgive, or end it. Oh, this is a good one. Oh boy. I don't know what to do at all. Today has been the worst day in my life. First time I've cried in at least 20 to 25 years. That's probably a
flag.
lie. Yeah, red flag. He's bullshitting. So he's 35. His wife is 34. Had a solid relationship for 12 years. We got together online after a lot of talking and meetup. After about a year, we moved in together, and about 5 years ago, we got married. Anniversaries in 2 weeks. I thought we were soulmates. Best friends. Did everything together. Lots of travel and stuff. We have a dog, but no kids yet. Anyways, about a year ago, my wife started a new job, found some new friends there. That was nice because she hasn't had a lot of friends in this city. We both moved here for studies and stayed. She got really close with one woman. She's 10 years old. And a divorced mom. This can't be right. And her son is 6. Let's just say that she's 30 for sake of the story.
That's really funny.
Let's just say she's 30 years old and a divorced mom. Her son is 16. Let's make her 40. How about that?
Okay,
We all became.
That's a big typo.
Yeah. She's
all became
10 years old. Mom.
Well, we all became good friends. Even traveling together. And the son that I got pretty close as we both like video games, etc. So anyways, this woman drinks a lot more than my wife did. My wife usually drinks 1 to 2 times a year. I haven't had alcohol since I was 22. It didn't bother me much, though, as they usually drank when we had board game nights and such. So about 3 months ago, this woman got a boyfriend, and they all together started going to bars and being out late. I joined sometimes, but with our dog and me not drinking, I went home early or just stayed home instead.
Well, did the dog stay or go?
I'm confused about bringing a dog to a bar, but whatever, man.
Maybe some of those outdoor ones that they don't mind having animals at.
Is that a red flag? Is that a sign of non-masculinity?
No.
You got a dog in your purse?
I've taken a dog to a bar before.
But you were a girl.
Well, that's
so if
true.
a guy brings it and he's like in his fanny pack or something.
Oh, fanny pack is a different story. unless you're The Rock, you're not allowed to wear a fanny pack as a man. No, I wouldn't. No, that's not a red flag to me.
What if he had like one of those like 3-pound dogs on a leash? And it was like all groomed and stuff, like all like a braided hair and all those things.
Yeah, he probably just has too much time in his hands.
Well, my brother would tell you he's definitely gay. My brother is gay. My brother would fully admit that that's a gay thing that gay guys do. He would make no bones about it. There's no chance that he's not. And my brother would probably be trying to get his number and,
Well, I'm not going to assume based on a groomed 3-pound dog.
But if he had a fanny pack on, then you would definitely assume.
Well, but I wouldn't say like, hey, how's being gay? Like,
I mean, you want to say that, but you would think it.
possibly.
Maybe not in question form, but it's like, oh, this is the gay guy.
Maybe.
Is that a bad thing?
I don't think it is. Me being American, I don't want you to get the impression that all Americans like immediately try to cancel folks because they have wayward thoughts. You're allowed to have wayward thoughts. It's human nature, especially on this show. Anyway, as I continue, I, of course, wait, where am I at? Last month, she asked me what I thought about her making out with others at the pub. What did we skip over? 3 months ago, this woman got a boyfriend. They all went together.
With the dog. With the 3-pound dog.
Yeah, I joined sometimes a dog, not drinking. Okay. So last month, she asked me what I thought about her making out with others when out at the pub. Hey, ladies, what if your husband just told you, hey, so what if I like made out with some chick at the bar? What would you think of that?
I'd probably laugh.
Well, that's one response.
I'm calling Omar. That's what I'm doing. Can you litigate?
I'd probably say, well, what would you think about me doing that?
Well, that would be the obvious retort, but like, so I got something to tell you. So I made out with this lady. This lady, her name was Lucy.
Lucy.
It was Lucy, not Lucy. It was Lucy. She was French. And, and so we got on to talking about things, and she wanted to show me some things. And one of the things she showed me.
The French kiss.
Well, Anita says that, well, I'm calling Omar. We're filing papers right now.
It's I had a one deal. I was like, I'm happy to solve any problem as long as it's between two of us. A third person comes in, I'm out.
Yeah. Well, that's a good philosophy in life, generally. When you bring in third parties without consent.
Well, without consent, for sure. Like, that's going to be an issue.
Well, that's the position that this guy is in right now. So, I of course said I wouldn't like it and would consider a divorce if she did. Also asked if she had already done it, since most people do it before asking about it. She promptly said she hadn't and wouldn't when I said no. She doesn't consider making out cheating, but I do. Ladies, do you consider making out with anybody cheating?
I think it's a form of cheating for sure. I don't know if I would just go straight to like leaving the person. My brain wants to understand why things happen. And I think that I like just based on my past, if I didn't have closure, I wasn't able to like healthily like leave the situation. Kind of like I needed to realize, like in that situation, I needed to realize that nothing I did or said or whatever was going to change that person, that they had to change themselves. So I needed to be in the relationship as long as I was to learn that, if that makes sense. So with this kind of thing, I'd want to understand, has it happened before? Like, how did the whole thing happen? Did she come on to you? Did you come on to her? Like, I want to know all the details so then my brain can kind of assess, like, does this seem like it's going to be a risk again in the future? Are they already going to therapy or are they not? Like, I feel like for me, it's more like understanding the exact situation rather than just saying, oh, if that happens, I'm done. Does that
So
make
you
sense?
need more information. Now, that makes sense. But like, what if you got your answers and they were unsatisfactory?
I'd probably say that definitely crossed a line for me. Like we've never said that kind of thing was okay. And you're all of a sudden just making it up that you're okay with it. Well, you never asked me if I was okay with it. And you made that decision for me.
I feel like Anita's answer is going to be a little bit different. What would you say to that, Anita? What would you say?
Unfortunately, I don't have simple answers ever, but so I'm just thinking about, like, I cannot speak for other people. I'm just keeping my marriage in mind.
Mm-hmm.
We are very, we we have disagreements and we argue, but we don't have big fights. So I believe if a person is in that state of mind where they know that's because it's been there since day one when we're dating, it's been there. Like I was like, I will go all the way, just not this. For me, it means like that's sabotaging. For me, that's what it is. You know that and you still do that. It must mean that you must have felt insecure in the relationship or something in a way that that was an option, because I know how complex we both think, like how, you know, we see it. So for me, it would be like, so you didn't, instead of solving it with me, whatever you might have had, you know, or if you get shit faced, let's say, sorry, yeah, we are allowed to swear.
Of course you are.
And for that, it's like, okay, then it's in you to do that. Then I cannot trust, because then it means that every time you go, you know what I mean? So either way, it doesn't work for me personally in my relationship. Because then if it happens once, I cannot be worried and be like, I don't want to monitor him. I don't want to like be like, oh, is he going to drink? I don't want to live with that worry. So for me, that's a line that I wouldn't cross and wouldn't accept.
Could I give you my answer as a man? Not that that matters, but I am a man that is going to answer this question.
Do it.
Sure.
I feel like it's a really bad idea to go to a bar with the opposite sex without your wife and expect that just everything's going to just be peachy clean.
Peachy
like,
clean.
You're going to be like consuming alcohol, like shit is going to happen. For what reason would you go like without your partner? And so if you're doing that, like you're asking for trouble, and then you're surprised when shit happens.
Yeah, don't put yourself in a compromising situation, because then we're humans. That's the whole point. We are humans, so
That's
we
exactly
do
right.
mistakes. So knowing your own nature, and like I get attracted to other people, he gets other, like that's, I cannot deny that. Me denying that would be me lying to myself. So I would never, because our unity is so important for me, I would never compromise or risk that. And for me, putting yourself in a situation is putting yourself in a risk if you are inclined by nature and you know yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you that, like, if it was my wife that was like telling me, "What if I'm just made out with a dude?" It's like, well, man, it's not. I'm not sure how I would react to that information.
And that presentation is like really shitty. Like, I think that, yeah, I think there's a lot wrong here, that like a lot to not be trusted about this whole situation. Like, I think the way that my brain would be willing to not necessarily accept it, but try to work with it, is if my husband came home and said, look, I need to tell you I fucked up. This thing happened. Here's how it happened. I knew right away I needed to tell you. I came straight home. I understand this is an issue. If you need time to think about it, fine. If you want to talk about it, I'm here. This is something I want to work on. I want to change. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to put myself in those situations. You mean the most to me, and our relationship means the most. And I want to do whatever I have to work on this. But I understand if you need time. If it's something that's like a mature, like, you know, not like, oh, what would you think if I kissed someone? Because I just did. That would be like, So it's the way it's presented here is like, this is not good at all.
Well, I could tell you that my oldest sister once came to me when I was going to law school or about to go to law school to tell me that she was pregnant by her boyfriend. Her full-on expectation of me was that I was going to like want to fight her boyfriend. It's like, for what? He's the dad, obviously. We need him in the picture. He's going to be, you're going to need him to like help you raise the kid. Why would I fight him? You're the one that did this. You guys both did this. You guys are not married. It is what it is. I'm bringing him in. I'll put my arms around him. I'll give him a hug. I will hope that he does the right things. I'm not going to fight him just because he did some stupid shit. Y'all did what you did. And that's all that it is. I think that would be the expectation. If my wife were to come in, like that would be like the initial reaction. Oh, I'm going to kill whoever. You ain't going to do all of it. You're not going to do all of those things. You're not going to commit murder because your wife might have made out with some guy. That would be the initial thoughts of most men, I feel like. Like, we would not go through it methodically the way that Schnitzel Ninja said. I would want to understand. Like, we ain't trying to understand shit. Like, there's going to be rage and anger to begin with. And then there's a whole processing that would take place. And then logic would try to maybe kick in. But it's a dangerous situation because all of these incendiary thoughts are rising to the surface, and you don't know quite how to handle it. And so I don't know if men, or most men, or I would be all that diplomatic about it or mature about it. Maybe over time, but initially, it's a really bad idea to just tell a guy that.
I have a question. How, like, as a man, so my thing is, like, once the trust is broken, I do not, personally, this is my experience, I do not understand the notion of building trust back up. I don't know how that feels, because if it's not going to be 100%, you know.
Well, I'll tell you like this. Trust is a fickle thing. I don't know if any married person truly trusts their spouse 100%. They say that they do because they have to say that. But would you really, in like every circumstance? The answer is likely no. And so it's all give and take with marriage.
Yeah, I mean, I told you about my friends who the guy had been like, they started dating in college when they were like 18, 19. She was very religious, Christian religious. He was her only partner, sexual partner. He had been with people before that, but anyway, they get married. She's not very sexual, and he ends up finding an outlet, which is going and getting massages and getting happy endings and stuff. Well, then that turned into him actually paying people to have sex with him and stuff. And long story short, he came clean to her and he told her everything. She's the kind of person who does not want to know all the details, and he was sharing all the details because he felt so guilty. He was like, I'm just going to tell you everything. And she was like, oh my God, please don't. Tell me everything. So they worked through they had 2 kids together, and one is has cerebral palsy. So he takes extra like time and attention. Anyway, so they went through all of this therapy and they were able to work through everything, and she was able to forgive him and move on from that and rebuild the relationship.
Yeah,
I guess I cannot
good on her.
Imagine. Yeah, I cannot imagine it, but I'm sure if that comes like there, like if you have kids and everything, that's a compromise you make. It's like when you're alone, it's a different question, I guess. So
you just have to put it in perspective. Like you're getting married, and if you're a young person, you're expecting to be married for like 50, 60, 70 years, right? In those 70 years, you got to be able to foresee there's going to be a time when your husband, the person that's devoted his entire life to you, is going to fuck up, or your wife might fuck up. And it's incumbent on you and your emotional fortitude to be able to forgive and understand. You can't forget. I mean, you just can't. It's human nature not to forget those things. You always remember the things that hurt you the most. But look, you're going to break up with this guy or get a divorce. You're going to come into my office and you're going to ask for a divorce, and you're going to go through the whole child custody visitation orders, alimony, child support, whatever, dividing up the properties. And then you're going to find some other dipshit to be married to, and he's going to have the same risks. The risk of human nature overcoming the need to abide by vows that are not tangible. There's got to be some empathy and forgiveness in a marriage in order for it to work.
Yeah.
Everybody that's been married for 60, 70 years has had to forgive a major thing of their partner. Mm-hmm. The question is whether or not you're willing to do it. And if you're not, then that's okay. Then get a divorce. Or you could acknowledge the human condition and try your best to move forward with wisdom and empathy. It's really your choice. Or come to my office. I'll get you divorced. It'll take about 6 months.
Well,
It'll
I
cost
can
a lot of
ask
money.
the question back. Why didn't the other person have enough? Like the fuck ups are normal, right? That's what I'm saying. You can fuck up, you can hurt in a million ways, but there's one thing, it's the third person, right? So it's supposed to be fuck ups are good. You can, I don't know, like you can hurt me in a million ways, intentionally or unintentionally. It's just like siblings, like because you become family, it's not about love anymore. It's family.
Yeah.
It's like siblings. You do things, you hurt each other, you say nasty things when you're angry. Those are completely different things. But it's the betrayal of, you know, it's like me getting another sibling and be like, hey, this is why I don't know how to say it, you know, like
Well,
just I'm not trying.
I mean,
like that betrayal of connection that you're supposed to have it, and if that other person is not on the same page as you don't like. I'm not there, but I'm having a hard time imagining.
I mean, it wouldn't be easy. You have to think, like, really humble yourself and dig deep and think of who you are, who you want in your life. Do you like, is this one act, if they are willing to try to work on themselves and work on the relationship, is this one act, or like in my friend's case, multiple acts, is that worth losing this family that you've built? And he did it. He did everything to make that loss happen. But I think it's going to be a different answer for everybody.
yeah,
Like,
it is.
What are you willing to accept? What are you able to accept? What are you willing or able to work through?
Well, there's all these. I'm reading these comments. Tinkerloo says, I can't say I don't trust my husband 100%. Sadly. Dragonfly says it's our second marriage to each other. Wink says, I know a guy that is married but thinks as long as it isn't P and V, it's it's not. Well, under those rules, I mean, does they go both ways? Because
right, probably, it doesn't.
I know. You're gonna hate that person beside you at some point. Look, I mean, I've talked to married folks. They come to my office. They've had like affair partners for like 20 plus years. And so it unknowingly becomes like this love triangle. This person juggling like two people. In the 60s, I just watched like this TikTok video of like this couple in the 60s, and they were talking to each other. And this lady was talking about, you're gone from like 6 a.m. until 1 a.m. I don't even know you anymore. Like, you're just gone. I don't know anything about you. How do we stay connected? How do we stay close? And then he's like, basically, well, I don't think that all the problems that I have, you could really solve. And so I don't feel the need to talk to you about my problems. I come home and just be happy with that. And it's like back in the 60s when they didn't have like GPS and cell phones and all this stuff. He had a whole second family probably going on, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've been on like shows, right? Like that we've seen.
Like which ones?
Sorry, I don't know. My brain just went blank for a second. I don't know, Dateline or something like that, where they say like this guy has had like 5 different like wives or something.
Oh yeah,
something crazy like that,
Yeah. Look, it's hard to be married to somebody. The act of being married to somebody is accepting the fact that this is the last person you're going to be with until you're dead. And then the pressure that puts on or they're dead. The pressure that puts on the person, and this dread that we're not looking forward to anything new. We're just looking forward to dying, or a 50-year anniversary. Like, what's coming next? That's why it's so important. I think that all married couples are guilty of this. You got to keep on dating your partner. You got to keep on dating your spouse. Otherwise, you're going to get bored. And then where they used to be, like, I remember, like, you met your partner. And they used to be like this hot young thing, right? And then it was like a relationship built on lust and hope. And then it became love at some point. And then it became like mutual respect. Life. And then life happens. And then you guys are not as intimate as often as you would like. And then when you look at them, they're just like a pile of bills and like them chastising you about the chores or whatever. And take out the trash or do the yard work or do the dishes or cook the meals. Or get up with the kids or watch the kids or do this and that. And then they just become this huge burden. imagine where they went from. They went from this hot young thing that was like all full of lust and fun and cool stuff to like just responsibility and dread and shit. And for a lot of married folks, that's kind of where it ends up there, and then it stays there until they find somebody else because they're bored out of their minds and depressed as hell because they can't get out of this dread that is their life. They see no positives. They have nothing to look forward to with each other in the way of like dates or vacations or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they just do what they do because they're in survival mode with their partner whom they don't even like because they don't recognize them anymore as like this lustful, fun thing. They're like this adult riddled source of depression and anxiety. And fuck all of that. What do you do with the depression and anxiety? You try to bury it. So you're actively trying to bury your spouse. And if you have the opportunity to go out at 2 a.m. in some bar with the opposite sex, you're going to take it up. And whatever happens, happens. And A, would you consider it cheating if I made out with somebody else? Yeah. Well, then I didn't. Okay.
Well, then I didn't.
This is marriage, man. It's this is what marriage is like. If you don't work on, if you
But,
don't,
like,
Now I am
communicate.
depressed.
They need to like, if you don't like, this is something they should have talked about before. You know what I mean? Like, they should have open communication throughout the relationship so that if that partner was even thinking about like, oh man, like, be honest, like, hey, I was out with this couple the other night and I had a desire to kiss this guy.
yeah,
I need to tell you that. And I don't think it's just this guy.
mm-hmm.
I think I'm having a desire to kiss other people.
Yeah.
And talk about it. I'm not saying that's a great thing or like you should forgive that or whatever, but like just talk about it. You have to talk about it.
It's a lot more palatable than, oh, I already kissed like a bunch of dudes and like banged this other one. So what are we going to do about it, Chief?
What do you think? No, I mean, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I have anxiety just thinking about this.
I don't mean to cause you anxiety. I'm just saying that these are
like,
what these
I have a physical reaction to the notion that, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, look, I'm a family law attorney. People come to office with these kinds of problems all the time. I don't know. I suspect him of infidelity. I don't know if I should get a divorce. And I got to tell him, look, if you want to get a divorce, I can make that happen. This is how it's going to look like. And then we have the other conversation. Do you really want to get a divorce? Like, how certain are you? Because it's going to cost you a lot of money to do this. Like, I'll tell you all about your rights, and these are your rights, and this is what you can look forward to. And have you worked out custody and visitation, how that's going to go? Do you know where you're going to live?
How does actually, let me ask a question I don't know how the legal system works in the States. Like here, I don't mind disclosing the country. I live in Hungary. I'm not Hungarian, but I live in Hungary. And here, let's say if you go apply for a divorce or I don't know, there are steps that you have to take. Like the government, how it does it, you have to go to therapy. You have to go to a family therapy and see if it's something that's solvable.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like a 3 months or something. They try to, you know, help you. So it's not like, you know, you give reasons depending, like if it's like mutually a disagreement or something, they ask you to work on it. And then after that, if you have kids, you have to do custody. Without agreeing on custody, you never divide assets. Like it's very step by step. So to help to kind of, if you have a child, like if you have a child, you have to do custody first because they protect the child.
Sure.
Because so I was just, how does that work in the States?
It's similar. They don't force anybody into therapy. They will for like child custody purposes, though. Like they'll make parents take parenting classes, co-parenting classes. But they won't force them into therapy like to stay together. They'll simply ask the question, is there any measure of therapy that might fix the situation? And if the answer is no, it's like, okay, do you wish to be divorced? Yes, I do. Then we will grant you divorce. There's other states that are at fault states that like want to ask the question, why is your marriage breaking up? Like, for example, in California, nobody gives a shit what the reason is. Who cheated on who? We don't care. You want to get divorced? Fine.
Yeah, but then from the first time you get that paper from the thing, right? So it depends, like you go there, but the therapist will try to, so it's not like, oh, you must go to 10 sessions or something, but they have like, after you file, I think you have 3 months to resolve how you want to deal with it. But if you get the paper from the therapist that, okay, this is not happening, you know, if you've tried, you can, you know.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
They're not going to force you to stay, but it's just, you know.
And it's a process they make them go through just to like be doubly sure that you guys really want to do this.
Because the population in Hungary is like in quite a decline, so they're
Yeah.
trying to keep families together. You know, kids.
I mean, it makes
whatnot.
sense to do that, but you know, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people that I divorced, like they're so far gone from like staying together. It's just a lot of the cases have like domestic violence, but like there's name calling and stuff, and there's open infidelities going on, and you know they're not subtle about it. They're not having like a healthy discussion about what constitutes cheating or not. Am I allowed to make out with somebody else? They're just doing it, and they're like bringing people home with the other person in the house because they're sleeping in different bedrooms. It gets like really brazen really fast with some of these cases. And so
are they young couples? Like what?
No, they're older couples. I'm talking about 30s and 40s. The sadder ones are when they're like 60 plus. Because they're like, I don't know what to do. I've been married for 30, 40 years. And I just caught him giving money to somebody in Cambodia because I don't know if it was a real person or not, but it was like an AI girlfriend. He kept on sending her thousands of dollars and it was draining our retirement account. It's like, well, shit. I don't know what to tell you, lady. Breach fiduciary duty. You know what?
I was like, you got issues. Like
I've had those cases, but they're sad. And then the guy turns out he's got dementia. And so there's just situations that are not fun to talk about.
how do you end up sending $1,000 to Cambodia when you have dementia? Where's the link?
Well, he probably still has access to his bank accounts. And she's convincing him that, oh, if you only send me $1,000, I will come to I will come visit you and I will blow your mind. I will rock your world. You just get us a hotel and then we will have so much fun. And she's sending him like AI images or whatever. And he goes like, hell yeah. And he doesn't know any better because he's got dementia. And so it just goes along with it. There's some people that don't have dementia that fall for that trap. And I don't get it. And it's always like
he
these elderly
forgets he's
folks.
married when he has dementia.
No.
Like I'm trying to see so what is that? How doesn't matter. He has dementia.
He remembers that he's married. He's actively cheating on his wife. Make no mistake about that. It's just that his discretion is compromised. Like he's making stupid decisions that he wouldn't normally make because he doesn't have the ability to know right from wrong.
Anything but take responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you hold a dementia-riddled old man responsible? They don't even have the capacity to form contracts legally in America. And so there's that. Anyway, I should probably finish this because I feel like I haven't even touched on the root of whatever's going on here. Okay, so this weekend she was going out Friday and Saturday. On Friday it was after work, so I went home to the dog. She got home about 2 a.m. On Saturday, though, they were going to a park to drink, just picnic style, hang out and chat, etc. Then go to a pub or someone's apartment. I said I didn't have any plans at all that day, and it's a dog-friendly park, but she didn't invite me. And I didn't want to force myself, so I was, okay, fine, I'll stay home then. I was super bored. I went to bed at 11 p.m. When I was going to bed, she got home much earlier than usual. She was pretty horny, so we had sex. Nothing unusual about that, as she gets horny when she's drunk. But when I asked what they had done today, she said they went home to her friend, and she and her boyfriend went into another room to F. That's why she went home early. So it was just her and another friend, coworker, so they left. Anyways, when we fall asleep, I couldn't stop thinking about it and decided to check her phone. I check her messenger chat with his coworker. For context, he's over 50. And we have met a lot. He's also together with someone else, not married, but lives together with a dog. That's totally the same thing. Anyways, their chat was a lot of sexting. My wife asking if he wants company in the bathroom. What? She is talking about sucking. He is talking about, should we really cross this line as well? Which makes me feel very uneasy. My wife wakes up when I look through her phone, and I can tell she's terrified. Basically goes full awake right away. I say I know about him and ask what they have. She says only making out, and she swears I say you talk about a lot more in the chats, but she says only making out. I tell her I want a divorce. It's about 7 a.m. now. That's a long night. And I leave the bed and go cry in the living room. She puts up zero fight. She's sad, cries a bit, then packs a bag and is going to her friend to stay there a while. I look up to apply for divorce online, We both sign in. No kids, so should be final soon. I don't know what to make of her reaction, to be honest. She says she loves me, will always be there for me, but in some way, it feels like she is relieved or maybe happy. Oh, she cries a lot. She just says she wants to give me space and respect my decision. She asked me not to tell her coworker's partner. Anyway, so she leaves. I'm alone.
You know what I would say to that?
What?
I would say you have until this date to tell them yourselves, or I am going to tell them.
Oh, you mean like the coworker's partner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what therapists will say sometimes, like in couples therapy. Like if one says, I kissed someone at the bar, but I haven't told my wife yet, the therapist will say, okay, like I'm not going to go just tell her you said that, but you have to tell her within the next 2 sessions. Not every therapist is like this, but you
Yeah.
have to tell her within the next 2 sessions, or I am going to divulge that information if it's couples therapy.
Interesting. Wouldn't that break like several privileges?
It's like both. If it's a situation, if you have a therapist who's couples therapist and you guys meet with them individually to talk about the relationship. So they're not an individual therapist, but they can meet with you individually sometimes.
Yeah. How would you handle that, Anita? Would you be like, you know what? You're going to tell him or I'm going to tell him? And you got 2 weeks.
I wouldn't say anything. Like, who am I in this?
Oh, you would be the aggrieved party. The cheating on spouse.
The guy who wrote the post.
You're the guy who wrote the post in female form.
I would come out. I would tell immediately. For me, maybe that is selfish, but I do not like the idea of living with that in me, because I think that's way more detrimental as opposed to like going through a hard time. But maybe I've been in therapy for 7 years, so that's something that I wouldn't do, and I think it's unfair, because if I love and respect my partner and I do that person wrong, that's how I view things. Yeah. But again, I wouldn't say this 7 years ago. This is therapy, pure therapy talking. So,
well,
would you say? I feel like Omar, you'd just be like, all right, well, that's her problem to figure out, like the other woman.
I don't know, man. I don't think that I would have a need to go like confront the other. I don't know. I really don't
want that person to come tell you if they found out and you didn't know.
Yeah, probably. I would have to really think about that. Would you rather
hear it from the mistress's partner?
No, I'd rather hear it from her.
Oh, sorry. Like, I misunderstood the question. Sorry.
Yeah, so like the question is, if you're not going to tell the other person's spouse, then I'm going to. And so it's putting them in a position like they're either going to hear it from their spouse or from me, the spouse of the other affair partner, I guess.
No, I mean, I wouldn't jump into this. I think I wouldn't. It's not my obligation to carry other people, like, I don't know, to make other people moral. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea how I would handle that. I really don't. But I can see both sides of the argument. I think that in my situation, I'll probably just like a retreat from society for a while and just like go live in a cave for a couple of months and reassess.
Man cave or a real cave?
No, it would be a man cave, maybe a real cave. Maybe I'd turn a real cave into a man cave. You know? I don't know. I'd have to plot. I'd have to think. I'd have to really process. No idea how I would proceed. Mm-hmm. But there would be ramifications I would recognize, but I would think it all through before I made any moves, because I wouldn't want to be hasty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yep. Yeah. Let all those emotions kind of work themselves out before, or some of them. Not all, so you're not going to be over everything in like 2 weeks, but.
Yeah. And so the end result might be I just don't give a shit about any of it anymore. And I'm just going to go live in form my own path, and you could deal with whatever mess that you created, and I'm gone. I'm out. Innocent of all of this bullshit. and on to the next thing, I guess. But that would be a whole process. But I would not in the moment just like start knocking on doors and did you know what she did? That would not be my move, I don't think.
Did you read your super chats?
Oh, no. But Miss Medusa with the 5 says, in my opinion, if you cheated on your spouses, you did that on purpose. You knew that you were hurting your partner. Yeah, 100% that's true. Even if you're drunk off your ass, in the back of your soul what you're doing. And there's no getting around that. And that requires a separate discussion. And then she follows up with communication is key to marriage.
That's malice.
That is malice.
Yeah.
That is malicious intent. Okay, so he says, I got 3 options. I could forgive her. This would be hard as I could never trust her again. She would have to change jobs, which I don't think she wants. Not sure what else, but feels like she would have to cut off the friends and would resent me, so I don't know. 2, I could be alone. Go through with the divorce, sell the apartment maybe, or stay. Go to work, go home, play video games, waste my life, have no friends. I'd never meet anyone new as I wouldn't look. 3, suicide. I'm super afraid of pain or death, so I don't know if I could go through with it. Maybe with pills, I don't know. Still, it feels like my entire life is over. I had 1 year left on my studies to get my teacher license when I was going to propose to my wife to have a baby and then be a stay-at-home dad for a year or 2 and then find a new job, all those things. I really don't know what I should do with my life here. Might have missed some info or something as I'm sitting here drinking and crying. Yeah, there's a 4th option. Go be a single person and live your life. And reassess. That's why the whole...
be alone. Go be alone. Yes, be alone.
Go be alone. Go, get some slut busters out the way, maybe. Go forth and conquer. Go turn into the most interesting man in the world. Go tell stories. Go hold court at local bars here and there and tell them about your failures and your successes. You'll work it out. That's why the 2 months of alone time is really important.
It is hard. It is hard. Like, I mean, going through breakups can be like absolutely fucking brutal. And if you're married, I mean, it can be that much worse. But I have always found myself on the right side of things when I've gone through that process of healing.
Yeah.
It was the right decision. I'm better for it. My life is better.
Well, right now he's in survival mode.
Sure, for sure. Yeah.
He's not worked himself out of that mode. And it's never a good idea to make decisions in survival mode.
Exactly. Bad things happen when you do.
Yeah. I remember when my first marriage ended, I went up to the mountain for a couple of weeks and I went through that whole process. I went through the whole thing. I mean, I was a much younger man. I was like 26-ish, maybe 27. My solution was I went through all of the stages of grieving. And then I just decided to be single, and it was great because I was 27, in your prime. It's oh, I was missing out on all of these things. And then I figured out I ended up going to law school, so I didn't really get crazy into it. I'm just saying, there's life after divorce, as I discovered. And this guy's only 35, bro.
How? Sorry, just I have a question.
Yeah.
Schnitzel, is that the name of the other? Sorry, can you remind me?
Schnitzel.
Yeah. Are you also married?
I am.
Okay, so just a question. How much of your identity is tied to your marriage or relationship? I think that's also very important.
Yeah.
People take it hard.
Oh, for sure. I have been in a relationship before where this person was abusive in different ways, and that relationship became my identity. He cut me off from my work. He didn't want me to talk to my family as much. My friends, he was always criticizing my friends. One of my best girlfriends, she hated him and he hated her. And I stopped talking to her as much because he didn't like her. It was because she called him out. She called him out on his shit, and he didn't like that. So that relationship was a huge blow to me and took like months to try to recover from. And he was still messaging me after we broke up. When I we lived together, and when I moved out, there was a safe that had my stuff in it. I've already said this before, but safe that had my stuff in it, that was locked, and I didn't have the code to. I was not allowed to have the code to it, but it had my birth certificate and my car title and things like that, my passport in it. And then when I moved out, he had unlocked it and left an engagement ring on top of all of my documents. Just like
Oh,
super fucked up.
that's emotionally abusive. That's intentional, no?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, that was the whole relationship was emotionally abusive. So it took a long time for me to tell myself, like, you don't need that person. You don't want them in your life. They are bad for you. Because my brain was kind of addicted to them in some way. Like, I really thought that was going to be it. And I had to keep reminding my brain, like, no, 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 that's not it. So this relationship, I feel like I could, if I had to, I feel like I could go and be on my own, and I could go be a single mom if I needed to. But I appreciate my partner, and I love my partner, and I'm happy he's here. But I don't feel like my identity is wrapped up in this marriage.
I think that's the best way to describe, like, you didn't say husband was like partner, and that's what you're looking for, right? So some people are just so, I don't know, it's like, yes, it's a beautiful thing to be married, but for some people it's like a status symbol. I'm married, this is like a destination in life, and then they completely wrap themselves up in what that means to the outside world, but they never really understand what it means to them. So
I think if I had married that guy, that probably would have been me in a marriage.
Well, I'm proud of you. I don't know you, but I'm proud of you then.
So thank you. Thank you. It was hard, and I know you don't know so much, but that really means a lot to me. I appreciate you saying that.
Of course.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because this lady, she says this: I'm a 35-year-old female who made a mistake of a lifetime. She says, I grew up in a household where my parents fought a lot. During my doctoral years in graduate school, I was in a stable 4-year relationship with a doctor that felt perfect. My ex was loving, funny, generous, kind, and had very strong character and similar internal value system. We never fought. I was happy, fulfilled, motivated, secure, overall a better, stronger person with him by my side. I remember looking at him while he was driving once and thinking, man, he will be such a good dad one day. The segment in my life with him was happy. But looking back, it also felt alien. I'd never been in such a stable relationship before. I didn't grow up like that. I'd never been this supported or happy. I didn't know how good I had it. However, our sex life was great. It was non-existent. And at the end of our relationship, I ended up moving away for a highly competitive, once-in-a-lifetime job offer. And while away, I cheated on him, and we are no longer together. I cheated on him with my husband. My husband and I met because we shared a similar passion for trail running ultra marathons. Isn't that the way? We loved being outdoors, and having someone by my side in such a niche sport felt special. I overlooked the fact that he had only graduated from high school and was, or is, making minimum wage while I make 6 figures. I was young and thought that love would prevail. I started to see cracks in our relationship as time went on. While I was working hard and overtime to save up for a house, he would disappear for days on camping trips, leaving me to take care of household chores and our dog. We fought over so many little things and had countless communication issues. We do not communicate well or do conflict resolution well. I noticed our sense or humor always didn't jive. For example, there was a time I questioned if he's racist because of jokes he made with his friends, and it really bothered me. Our empathy level for others and this planet are very different. But I was in my 30s then, and I thought I needed to make this work. I later learned that there is guilt from cheating, and oftentimes you feel like you need to end up with the person to make it feel right. So we got married, and now we have a baby. And after having a baby, Our differences and conflicting values are amplified. After marrying, he took an expensive career change, which I am funding. He comes home from work, tired, and sometimes needs to study after work on our weekends. When he's not studying, he lies in bed on his phone instead of spending time with me or our baby. He says he needs to decompress. He's always on his phone, whereas I cut down on my screen time for my baby. He says his career comes first, even though it doesn't pay much compared to my career. He says when he gets a chance, he's going to move our family out of state to advance his career. I told him I don't want that because we have grandparents, good schools, a strong community here for our child. He does nearly 0% of childcare throughout the week. On weekends, he may have 15 to 30 minutes play sessions with our baby, but it's always spontaneous on his time. And I never know how much free time I will have before he says I need to get back to studying. So it's hard for me to get things done, run errands around the house. Despite him being very absent as a parent, he's very opinionated. Sounds like a Republican. With raising our baby and everything seems... He's very opinionated with raising our baby, and everything seems to be my fault, according to him. Not a pleasant experience. I'm not a Democrat, by the way. I'm an independent. That's how I identify.
Right.
Yeah.
Nonconformity.
I was just rolling with Schnitzel's theme from earlier in the show. He threatens me with more workload. If I complain about his absence as a dad while he's playing with our baby, he leaves the room and says, I'm playing with him for you. If you're not grateful, I need to get back to work. What a fucking asshole.
Definitely a Republican.
Definitely. I did all of our taxes as always, and he offers to help mail the packet. When I complained, he forgot to attach the W-2s among missing other things. He said this was too complicated. He's going to bed. Never said thank you to me for doing our taxes, leaving me to finish the task he offered to help. He's entitled. For example, he leaves $0 for the down payment of our home, yet our home needs to have 3-car garages, and he needs an extra room for a music studio that he never uses now. Yes, I wanted to be a good partner and conceded to his demands, and now I feel resentful.
She needs to dump his ass. Oh my God. It's like she's living with a teenager.
But this is marriage number 2.
Well, she's probably saying she shouldn't have left the first one.
He's definitely saying that. That's specifically what this post is about. It's like, I fucked up royally.
She's saying she shouldn't have left the first one, or she shouldn't have gotten with the second one.
That's what they say, karma's a bitch, no?
Right? It is. Right. And I'm not really sure if she's saying one or the other, so we should finish. I also feel resentful when I see friends who marry their classmates, now living in nice, safe, highly sought-after neighborhoods and beautiful homes, or have 2 or 3 homes, while we needed to make some compromises as I'm the sole breadwinner in our relationship. That's really hard. Our educational level differences also show in our conversations. Gosh, I can't tell you, man. When I was younger, like my cutoff age to date people was 25 when I was 30. Because it's like, what are we going to have to talk about if you're like 22? I refuse. And it was just a thing. It was such a thing. Not that I'm like so bright and intelligent. It's just like maturity was a really big deal, you know? I
dated a guy 2.5 years younger than me, and that was already too fucking young.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude? Educational differences are a big deal. And then I went all the way the other way. I ended up dating a college professor. And it didn't work out for other reasons. I wasn't physically attracted was the reason. And so there's a balance that's needed in it. It does not seem like he looks into global or political issues deeply or empathetically. He has no interest in doing or learning how to do conflict resolution. It also appears he is too insecure to apologize after knowing him for 8 years and countless arguments.
8 years? Jesus fuck.
He has only apologized once or twice to me, while I apologize after nearly all arguments.
How could someone stay 8 years in this relationship?
I don't know, man. But she's done it.
I'm not judging. I'm just like, oh my, like it feels like a wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a.
I'm gonna say something cliche. She has daddy issues. It seems like, she's like nobody's, like she has the perfect guy seemingly, but she cheated, so like she sabotages herself. So she just needs to leave, understand, accept.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes, reflect, and move on.
She finishes. He's always tired. One morning out into the park, and he needs to be in bed for 3 hours, 2 hours in his phone, and 1 hour napping. Well, that's kind of that doesn't seem like a
Teenager.
realistic ratio,
No.
Being an adult with a child, I mean, you're on call for like 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
There's no downtime. Get out of here with that. He's always tired. Oh, I read that. Yes, I know money and income and education aren't everything. I know this may be my fate from karma, from cheating on my good ex.
Like you need
I'm just feeling lost and alone. I'm wondering. I don't know if anyone has any advice. If things will get better or how I can move past this. Do you think I made a mistake? Thank you for reading. I think it's obvious she made a mistake. And that just
maybe made the right decision to leave their first partner. I don't know enough about it, but she definitely made a mistake getting into this relationship.
Well, she says she got married because of guilt. It would only make sense if I got married to this other guy. And that was the wrong mindset. Maybe it's like, this other guy's not going to work out, but I'm not just going to jump to like crown this guy the next best thing because of, a guilt or whatever. Maybe she should have shopped around a little bit and figured out like, look, there's some good things about this guy, but I don't like everything. So maybe we should.
Maybe the reason she cheated wasn't this guy. Maybe the reason she cheated was because there was something missing in her relationship or her first marriage or whatever. So it's like she felt guilty, I guess, and attributed it to like, oh, it must be because I fell in love with this guy because of our shared love of ultra long distance fucking running or whatever the fuck she said. But it's like she focused on the wrong thing as to why she cheated in the first place, I think.
And she was avoiding the actual issue.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been there 8 years. That means she did this. She made this call when she was like 27. And the reason she left the first guy is because their sex life wasn't great to non-existent. That's what she says. And at the end of her relationship, I moved away. We're highly competitive. She moves away. She cheats on him and then ends up with the guy. We met because we shared a similar passion and then whatever. So she feels one need and lets go of like 4 others.
Mm-hmm. And is realizing now it was a mistake.
That's the kind of mistake that you make in your 20s. People make it in their 30s. Some people make it in their 40s. Some people never learn. But yeah, so what's my advice for her? I think that she's called it. Like, I don't think that, look, there's nothing wrong with her.
She knows the answer, but she kind of wants people to tell her.
Yeah, but I think that what you said is important. Like, what you said was, it's not necessarily the wrong call leaving that guy. That would have been the right time to do it, like in her mid-20s. Her mistake was thinking that she had to marry the other guy to justify her guilt for leaving the first guy, which is a stupid reason to marry anybody for. Marrying on the basis of guilt is always a bad idea, I think is the takeaway from that.
Yeah.
And now she's left with this deadbeat guy, piece of shit guy that can't help out with the chores, can't help out with the kids, doesn't like cooking, doesn't like doing anything. Hey, maybe that first guy is like still available. Maybe she could call him.
Avoiding the issue at hand still.
Right. Exactly. 8 years
Bad
later.
Advice, Omar, bad advice.
I mean, get a divorce first and all. I'm just saying. I don't see much hope for. Look, there's not much hope for happiness with this couple going forward. If she's already feeling this way, she's feeling like she's settling. At first, she thought she was settling because of the sex thing. Now she thinks that she's settling and she doesn't have a way out. And it's not so much that she's settling, just that this guy is fundamentally flawed in a way that's not forgivable. And what do I do now?
And then she's trapped. Give him a fuck ton of money.
Like him. She doesn't even like.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say that he was like the most attractive, whatever, and the sex was great and everything was wonderful. Well, that shit gets old after a while. It gets old with anybody. It doesn't care.
That's who you date. That's not who you marry.
Exactly. It doesn't look. That's going to get old within the first month or two, and then what? And then what? On to the next? Or you marry this one, and I guess you're going to have to live with whatever flaws. And there's a bunch. So look, she made her bed. And I guess let this be a lesson to people in their 20s that want to divorce their perfectly good partner. Look, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I think that in your mid-20s is the perfect time to get a divorce. You don't have much. You're still building your careers. You don't have much assets. Hopefully you don't have children if you're trying to make that call. But don't jump into a brand new marriage right afterwards. That's the stupidest thing to do.
Yeah.
Go date around and figure out who you are and what you want and spend about 5 years doing it. Like, treat it like a personal research project of all about yourself and your likes and your demands and what you require of a partner. Do not be hasty in your decision making, lest you end up with dipshit Chad over here. Fat Chad. He used to be all in shape and doing ultra marathons, and now he's gaining weight.
I thought
He's gained 40 pounds. Whatever his name. What is his name?
Chode.
His name is Fat Chode over here. And now it's not even good for that because like he's all out of shape and you guys don't do running marathons anymore. And he needs his alone time and his downtime and Jesus.
His nap and his...
He needs a nap and a bottle.
You should put up Jackie's comment.
Oh, what does Jackie say? Jackie says, Sarah, I totally agree. Be brave. Never settle for half an enchilada or for financial security, etc. Life is short and precious. Live it authentically, whether in a relationship or single. What would half an enchilada look like, by the way?
A chode.
Totally. It totally look. Don't settle for chodes. Is the takeaway from this one. Oh, how long we be going for? An hour and a half. You guys want to do the last one, or are you guys tired?
I could do one more.
All right, we'll do one more. How you feeling, Anita? It's like
I'm good.
4 a.m. where you're at.
Yeah, it's almost.
You were
That's
a trooper.
What time do you have to be up in the morning?
Oh, I actually were traveling, so 3-4 hours, but I'll sleep in the car. I can sleep anywhere, anytime, so I'm good.
Oh, that's nice. My husband is the same way. It doesn't matter what's happening. Like he can just fall asleep in like 5 seconds, and I take like 2 hours.
I think 3-4 nights ago, I was waiting for the bathtub to fill, and I just sat on the floor and I fell asleep while sitting waiting for the tub to fill. So if I'm sleepy, I'm going. So no problem. Anyway.
All right.
You don't have to drive or whatever.
No, I'll be sleeping in the back seat.
By the way, Anita, I'm so curious. How is the people of Hungary looking at people in America right now with everything that's been going on?
Just
in like 30
disclaimer,
seconds.
I'm not Hungarian, but I think we're getting hit with the reality. Like we were always sold this American dream, and how it's being hit with the reality of how hard it is actually to make that dream come true if you want to go there, because everybody had always wanted to go, and the challenges and the
the changing landscape, the changing
and also
international
you
landscape.
guys were always the good guys, something that that's how we had seen, but now because of social media and everything,
we don't even know what
the
we are
good
anymore.
and the bad are being exposed. So now I think people can make a proper informed decision if they do want to go. So
So there's a rebranding of international standing with the major world powers out there, and America is no longer reliable.
I think it's an age of people are tired of fighting. People are tired of all of this. So now, all the things are coming out.
Yeah.
And I think more people are becoming, more central, because everybody's tired of fighting for their ideas, because you realize actually your opinion doesn't count, and what happens in the government. I mean, it's showing across the board, like all over the world. And I think that's why people are like, you know what? It's just I'm making my own decision, and this is what I'm gonna do. They don't care anyway, so
I can't really blame anybody for thinking that. It is the great reshuffling.
Yeah, it's about time.
No. Well, on that bright note,
I
think it is a bright note.
It's like I do see in a way like the opportunity for other countries to kind of like step up and show what they're capable of, and because they're capable of like a lot. And I've actually I have, even from the time I was in like middle and high school, I didn't love like that song, I'm proud to be an American, or whatever that song is. Like, I hated that song
Hmm.
because I was like, why do I need to sing about being American? Or like, why do I need to like play a song about being American? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's like a double-edged sword because like, of course, I'm appreciative of like the government, the army, the military, like everything everyone has sacrificed for us to be the country that we are. Like it's not anything against or like a lack of appreciation for that at all. But it's like how the country has seen itself, the government has seen the country as like the best, and like like everyone should come here for their future and all that stuff. I've always seen it as like, we're all people, we should work together, we should help one another. And I never liked that. I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of Americans that are embarrassed right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that those American ideals that you were raised with and that you hold on to. There's a lot of people that fought and died for those
Yes.
ideals, and now they're just being
Family members of mine who have.
yeah, and so I'll tell you what, it's causing an uprising in authentic American patriotism.
Mhm.
And we'll see how that lands in a couple of years. But look, Americans are embarrassed largely and not happy. There's still some people that are delusional. But there is a grand awakening happening in America.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going, but I could tell you that we don't blame people for what they think about what's going on internationally with America right
100%,
now.
like, we deserve it.
Yeah.
I think, just like you said, you grew up being sold that American dream. I think it's also internationally we were sold that too. It wasn't just you guys. And
Mhm.
we're all collectively embarrassed, so you're not alone. So I think
Yeah.
but it's a good thing. I think maybe, building understanding between people who don't have the power to make these big decisions for the world. So
For sure. And with that, we should get to this guy that wants to talk about his online girlfriend. I don't know how lighthearted this is going to be, but it's a guy that has an online girlfriend. After years of talking, they meet for the first time, and it's not going well. Imagine. Have any of you guys ever had an online boyfriend or girlfriend?
oh yes.
No.
Of course, Schnitzel has not, but Anita
What
has.
do you mean, of course? I haven't.
Does high school count?
I mean, any age, I guess, would count.
Yeah. Yeah, well, would it count if I met in person and then it was like an online thing after? So I met through friends, but then it was very long distance for 2 years.
But I think the spirit of this, as I try to get a refill with my $5 wine over here that I've sacrificed for the show.
$5 wine.
He met some lady online, maybe playing Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, and they built a relationship over years, and now they've met.
Well, I want to say that my uncle, who is now deceased, he met that doesn't matter, but he met his wife online, and this was like back in 2003.
At the infancy of that kind of thing.
Yes, and like my whole family was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, are you sure they're even like a woman? Like, or how do you know? But they ended up, I think, after like 2 years. They lived like, I'd say, halfway across the country from each other. And they met, and they like, it solidified their relationship, and they got married, and they were married for probably like 15 years at least before he passed away. But so that was like, sorry, that's my interesting like online dating thing. It's like, at the, like you said, the infancy of like online dating, like it actually like worked out, which was crazy to me.
I'll tell you my online dating experience. I was 12. I was like 1992 or 1993. I don't remember how, but we were talking to people online. It's like, is there any hot chicks? So my 12-year-old self was like, hey, I'm like 25 and I play for the Dodgers. I play shortstop for the Dodgers. What's your stats?
No, you didn't.
I was 12. I was like,
And
I
you
don't know.
said you were 25 and played for the Dodgers?
I mean, I said some stupid shit like that. I don't know what's exactly. I'm a bodybuilder. I look like The Rock. I'm all 12-year-old little shit.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that
And
was
the
the
person
truth.
you were talking to was another 12-year-old girl.
Another
who's also
12-year-old
25.
Or a 12-year-old boy, maybe.
Wouldn't that be a nice love story, though?
Oh gosh, it never went anywhere. It's like I remember thinking, like, this is dumb. Like, how do I even know? Like, this is a girl.
Right, my sister. I have a sister. She was talking with someone online, and my mom was like on it, like flies on shit, right? Whatever that saying is. Like monitoring it.
Wink says it
without-
perfect. ASL bitches. What's
Yeah,
your
exactly.
ASL?
ASL. Yep. That's so funny. I'm not saying I was not in chat rooms, like chatting people up at like 10 years old, but I don't have a boyfriend. But my sister was talking with like a guy, or who she thought was a guy around her age. And so my mom, it had been going on for like, I don't know, maybe a month or something. And my sister was like, I'm gonna go take a walk. And my mom was like, you never take walks. So she was just like, okay. So she followed my sister to the local post office, and she had like a manila envelope, and when she went inside, my mom was like, gotcha. And she opened it up, and it was like a picture of her, like a letter, like she was gonna send our home address, like
Oh no.
it was. So like my mom, thankfully my mom's the one who like would read my diaries to like to know
What kind
what
of
was going
picture
on.
was it?
I think it was just like her face. It wasn't
Oh,
like
thank God.
yeah, no, I mean she was like
Oh,
12 or
mid-twerk.
13. No, no, it wasn't anything like that. But still,
Yeah.
like it was probably not like a 12 or 13-year-old boy on the other end. Like it just probably wasn't.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. I
yeah.
mean, when
Like
I was a
asking
12 or
her to mail
13-year-old boy,
pictures
I
and
was
stuff.
oh God. All the
Yeah.
30-year-olds pretend like they're 12. The 12-year-olds can pretend like they were 30. I don't remember. It was the 90s. It was a strange time. I was also learning how to talk to girls, and that was like the time when it was like learning how to walk up to a woman. It's like, so do you want to go to the dance? You know, or whatever. Do
Wait,
you
wanna
want to be
tell
my
one funny
girlfriend?
story.
Do it.
So we had a scanner, and I decided one day that because I was in chat rooms, like I said, I also sometimes presented myself as someone I was not. And like I'd find
Who was
pictures
your
online.
character of choice?
I don't know. It was like some like redhead lady with like huge boobs, like
Like
some
Mariah
model.
Carey. Oh, like Jessica Rabbit or something.
Yes, I mean not her, but something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is totally me. I'm a model. And I was like 13.
Definitely a model.
With like braces and bangs and
13-year-old
glasses.
little shit, man. Just, barely potty trained.
Probably in like Doritos, like getting Dorito stains on the keyboard. So anyway, yeah, we had a scanner, and I decided to scan my upper torso area.
Oh God.
And I sent it to somebody. I don't know who it was.
Like, was it
And-
explicit or just your upper torso?
Oh no, it was like 100% explicit
I mean,
on a
shit.
scanner.
Can I ask how? I would like you
In
to
color.
describe can you describe the process of the scanner? You know, the lid, like how
Like
how
I don't even remember. It was like yeah, I had to lean over it and like get the right angle and try to push the button at the same time. It was all done solo. So
Wouldn't that be like against like a glass shower thing? Like it's like
it was
Oh,
cold.
God.
It was cold as fuck.
I'll tell you what, man. Aquanetta says she was on AOL dating online in the 90s.
Oh.
And let me tell you something else. Like when I was 14 or 15 years old, it was like the coolest shit ever that you could download pictures on the internet. And I remember trying to download like the Sports Illustrated edition, Kathy Ireland. I was like, oh my God. This is actually, is it really going to download? And it was like one of those things, like line by line. It took like 5 minutes download a picture, and then I would print it out, and it's like, oh my God, I gotta hide this somewhere. Just like, oh
so funny.
boy.
Wait, so my mom
1995, man.
my mom found my picture.
Oh no way.
I like thought I deleted it, and apparently I didn't. Like maybe I deleted it and didn't delete it from the delete folder, like from the trash.
Yeah.
And so she like yelled me out to the room, and I was like, "What do you want?" And then I see it on the computer, and I was like, "Ugh."
That's
And she
gotta
was
be the
like,
worst.
"Why did you take this? Who did you send this to?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't take it for it. I didn't send it to anybody. I just wanted to see what they looked like. I promise I didn't send it to anyone."
Use a mirror next time.
I just wanted to see
Right.
if I look like the pictures.
See if this is what I see in the mirror. So anyway, then she was like, "I work with someone who's gonna trace this photo and figure out, and I'm gonna tell your father." And I was like,
I will call the cyber police. You were going to jail.
no, I was like so embarrassed. I was like, "Please don't tell anybody, no." But she was lying because she didn't know anyone who could trace anything like that. Like
Of
she
course
knew
you didn't.
nobody. And like of course she wasn't gonna show my dad like this picture.
Oh boy, imagine.
Yeah. Anyway, I almost shat my pants. When that whole thing
But if
happened.
he did show your dad, like, what is he gonna do with that information? Like, does he gotta like?
He just was trying to like threaten me to make me tell the truth, like to make you know
Oh.
what I mean, to scare me into like telling me
I
the
gotta
truth.
tell you, man, as a dad, I don't want to know the stupid shit that my girls do all the time. You know, if like if the wife could catch it and handle it, I don't want to have to know. If you give me that information, I'm supposed to do something major, like a big whooping or something.
Right.
I'd rather just not know. Just keep me as a big threat. I want to be the big threat. I don't want to have to actually do anything that, you know.
I swear,
Just
if our
be the threat.
parents were parenting at this time, they would all be
Yeah.
jailed.
The one time, the only time I've ever given my oldest daughter a spanking was when I caught her twerking. I caught her twerking, and she was like 8 or 9 or something. It's like, what? Come over here. I put her over my knee and I give her a big whack. I know. I just felt so shitty. It's like, man, I don't know.
Oh my God.
And I had to give her like the whole talk about, you don't ever dance like that. It's like, I don't know. Well, how am I supposed to dance? I don't fucking know, man. Just regular,
Not like that.
you know?
But that's what they see,
Well-
right? So when we were kids, like when we were watching stuff, for us, dancing was like ballet and everything. Right now, when
Yeah.
you look at dancing, that's what they see. Like,
Mhm. Yeah,
I
it's
know.
truth.
Well, I'm not the kind of dad that, especially being a girl. I feel like if I had boys, it would be different. But I have girls.
Well,
I'm
would
just
you
not
spank
big
them
on-
more.
Yes, I would.
Don't
Like-
spank. Do not condone spanking.
I mean, I wouldn't spank, but I'd be more prone to spanking a boy than I would a girl, just because they're just little girls, man. They're like little cute little things and running around, and you know
Boys can be cute.
they can be, but like boys will challenge you more, though. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes
100%. Every
when
day
boys
is
get
held.
old enough, like they're like 10 or 11, and they think that they're starting to feel a little bit of testosterone in their system. They want to back talk to their mom. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to remind them that they're just like this little twerp that, you know, that you're allowing to live in their house. And I'm just saying, I needed that shit because I just know that I was a boy that would challenge authority. Boys challenge authorities, I feel like, more than girls do. And it's more necessary to teach them those lessons. Not like in an abusive way. Just like let them know. Like there's a difference between grown man strength and little boy strength. And you need to know what level that you're on. It's a valuable lesson. Just know there's people in
so
the
much
most
harder nowadays, though. Like it's like if you compare the times, I understand. I completely agree with you. I
yeah.
think it's just like the things that kids are exposed to. Just like to reflect back to how you said that you were 12 years old, you were like going and downloading. You know, you were naturally growing. Your body and
Yeah.
your mind were growing how they were supposed to. Now with everything is this shit. Like you go walk. There are advertisements of like videos on, you know. Next
I
to
couldn't
a
even
shop,
imagine today.
twerking,
I mean,
you know.
I'll tell you what, if I was a teenager today, I'd probably never leave my room. It's like, what is all of this stuff? I had no idea what I would do. Back then, it was like, you get a copy of like the Victoria's Secret catalog or something. And that was like the thing. There was no free access to porn, to corn or whatever, you know, it just wasn't. Nowadays, it's just like thrown at you, like whatever. It's like confetti.
Free corn, free corn.
Free everywhere, and for no reason at all. And of all different genres. I'll tell you what, it was the most important lesson in life that I ever learned. When I was 15 years old, I was like this hotshot wrestler or whatever. I was like, I took first place in state, or not state, in the league, whatever. And I was going to state, and I thought I was hot shit or whatever. And then like I was wrestling with my coach. My wrestling coach was the scariest. To this day, I have nightmares about this guy. The scariest man I've ever encountered. He was strong for no reason. Like he was built like a rock. He was an older guy too. He's like in his 50s, but he was like strong for no reason. You would try to move him, he wouldn't budge. But you were totally at his mercy. He beat me down like I was a little schoolgirl. And just knowing that there's men out there in existence that could do that to you for no reason at all was such an important lesson, because it humbled me and just let me know that, look, don't think that you're hot shit and because you're going to go do whatever you're going to do. There's people out there that could do the same and worse. And boys need to know that, especially boys need to know that, because testosterone is a powerful drug and it needs to be tamed. And it requires a very specific upbringing. And sadly, not all boys receive it. I'm so thankful that I went through that experience, though, because if I didn't, who knows? Maybe I'd be a different kind of guy. I'm just saying that every boy needs to know that they can get their ass beat by other people. And when they know that, they realize that there's consequences and repercussions to the things that they do or threaten physically to other folks, especially females, young girls, or smaller guys, or guys that they perceive as weaker. It's really important for guys to learn the limits of their strength. I mean, it's important for girls too, it is, but for guys, I just feel it's important because they're stronger just naturally. And that's not true, obviously, for all women. I'm just saying, on average, it's true. What do y'all think of that? It's like, yeah, well, I know it's an uncomfortable discussion.
I understand what you're saying. I would just phrase it completely differently, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm not the person to phrase it artfully. I'm not. I'm just like, I'm not even saying, yeah. There's better ways to phrase
what you said. Yeah.
Yeah, there's much better ways to put it that's much more palatable, but I get what you mean by that, is all I'm saying. And I don't mean any ill, I'm not saying beat your boys. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, look, if they display certain characteristics, that has to be met with a very specific way. And, I don't have any boys. Maybe that's the reason. So how about that? Also, that's why I'm a girl dad.
Now, like, parents are trying to, I don't have a kid, right? So I don't think I'm maybe the right person. But my thing is, like, when I do have a child, you don't have to be a friend. It's your parent. Like, it's your duty for them to survive in the world. So you being a friend doesn't really help when they are the ones who are establishing who they're going to be in the future.
I could tell you what, like, I was a single dad. Like, I was raising my eldest by myself. And that was hard, because, I mean, she starts her menstrual. Like, what do you do about that? I don't know. Talk to your grandma. And then all I could do was like buy her supplies. And like, there's certain things that girls need to have a mom. They really do. They also need to have a dad. Like, it's so important to have both parents in the picture. It really is, because they miss out on so much without one or the other. Yeah. They talk about girls having daddy issues. They talk about boys being mama's boys and whatever, and it being hurtful to their current relationships. If you can keep a put together household, it is way more advantageous for the child than to not have those things. And sadly, most kids don't grow up with that. I didn't grow up with that. And, you have to learn certain lessons along the way. And if you don't learn them, and more than likely you won't, then there's repercussions for that. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but we're supposed to like read this last case and we haven't even started it yet. This guy met someone online.
I started talking about my uncle with online dating.
Oh, and how 10-year-old Schnitzel was like sexting people.
And I wasn't. I was like 12.
I was definitely sexting people at 12.
You were way ahead of your time. That's so funny.
Exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't even know how to sext at 12. I was doing something at 12. I don't know what it was.
Saying you were a bodybuilder.
I am. I look like Paul Newman. Who would have been the guy back then? I looked like Richard Gere. I don't know. Whoever the guy would have been. Michael Douglas. Who would have been the guy like in the early 90s that everybody would have been like fawning over? It doesn't matter.
Kevin Costner?
Totally. Kevin Costner. How about that? Everybody loves Kevin Costner. By the way, Kevin Costner is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of them.
I heard that.
Yeah. But, Jesus Christ. A couple of years ago.
He told me.
A couple of years ago, I met a girl through an online circle. We talked frequently. This is one that we really should have Bruce for, you know? Because I feel like he's got an online circle. He's probably gaming right now. Anyway, we talked frequently, and it was always a great time. She's very passionate about a lot of the same things I am, and is very career-driven, which is something I'm looking for. Early last year, she opened up about having feelings for me, which I was receptive to. In your mind's eye, could the two of you describe to me what you think this guy looks like?
Hey, I will say that I had a gaming friend I met in like 2006. I met online in 2016 playing a game online.
Yeah.
And we finally met each other in 2023, which was super cool. But I already knew what he looked like because we had like shared pictures.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I wonder. I don't know. He wasn't like
stereotypical.
Overweight, like
yeah.
Yeah, he was a normal dude.
Normal looking dude.
Yeah.
All right. Not necessarily overweight, neck beard, whatever.
Right.
On the spectrum.
Right.
Got it. We started spending more time online together, and eventually it got to a point where she would be telling her coworkers and family members about her boyfriend. This didn't bother me too much. I'm very interested, but for me, I had to meet her to seal the deal. Fast forward to Christmas, and my gift to her was going to be a trip up to meet her, USA to Canada. Hey, you could drive. Trip. By the way, I've never driven into Canada. What's the protocol? Is it like driving into Mexico?
I don't know.
Have any of you guys? Well, I'm just saying I've never driven.
Haven't.
Yeah, I've driven across the border many times, but it's always been into Mexico, never into Canada. I've driven like up to the border of Canada, just never try to go through. I just wonder if it's as easy to do.
I think it's pretty easy. It's the Rainbow Bridge, right? Isn't that like the...
I've never been. I don't know. It's a big ass freaking border. It's like the entire...
Well, that's true. Yeah, there's not just one bridge that takes you into all of Canada. I think like I know some people who have before, and I think it was pretty simple. But this was like a while ago, so they would only pull you over, like maybe they'd pull every like 20th car over or something to just check inside like quickly and then let you be on your way.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm legit like nervous to go into Mexico because I'm not sure if I'll make it back.
Do you want?
Trump might just declare if you were of a Mexican heritage, then you shall not, for any reason, with lack of due process. I'm legit like afraid, like, hey, should we be taking a trip to Cabo right now? Because like shit's going on right now. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it back. Passports don't count anymore, I've been told. I haven't been told that. I'm just saying. I'm speculating. Never mind. So a couple of years ago, I met, fast forward Christmas and my gift. What if your Christmas gift from your husbands, Anita and Schnitzel, was your husband like wrapped in a bow? It was like, I am your Christmas present. Enjoy me. With a bucket of chestnuts roasted on the grill.
On the couch.
I hope we're really both drunk. That's so it's funny. That's like,
not working.
you know.
I think, yeah. Also, it would depend on like, did we decide we were actually getting each other presents, or were we like, no, we're not spending any any money on each other this
That never
year?
was a
works, though,
Freudian
by the
slip.
way.
That was a
Yeah.
Freudian slip somewhere.
Yeah, right. And no spending any mother on each other. Yeah, so I think if we said like we're not buying each other stuff, we're just getting stuff for our son and for our family members, and he came down like dressed in a bow, I'd probably think that was funny. But if it was like, yeah, like we're getting each other stuff, and like I got him like, $500 gift or something, and then he's like, it's me, I'd be like, oh wow, okay. So
Or it'd be like The
when
Office.
am I getting my actual gift?
Like, no, it'd be like The Office, where like, oh, I just thought that you would get me something for Valentine's Day. Say, oh, well, wait till you get home. I'm about to give you the best sex you've ever had.
No, thank you. Just kidding.
Good. I think I've already had that. I'm good.
Oh man, all I'm saying is it's a bit. By the way, if you're gonna make that deal, we're not gonna get each other Christmas gifts. Then don't get each other gifts, man. You
Right.
can't make that deal and then get the other person a gift,
Right.
and then like wonder why you didn't get anything. I feel like that's it's an incongruous statement if your intention is to give him a gift out of guilt, when you said that specifically you're not going to be getting each other gifts, and to be upset when he doesn't give you a gift because he was following the rules and you weren't.
It's malice. That's it again. Sorry.
It's happened once. It's happened once. Although when I was dating my wife, one time I got her a Christmas gift, and the Christmas gift I got her was this big ass TV.
Mm.
But like we were moving in together like a couple months later, and so it's like you got that for yourself.
You? Was it? Like, if you're being honest?
I don't honestly remember. I really don't remember if that was what I was thinking. I doubt that's what I was thinking.
Selective memory.
Did she like
But it's possible.
big ass TVs?
I mean,
Are you into big ass TVs?
yes, I'm very much into.
That it was a
I'm
gift
like
for yourself.
totally. It was like I bought her a bowling ball. I bought her a set of golf clubs. That's what I bought her for Christmas. Hey, here's a vacuum. It is state of the art. I did not get my wife a vacuum, by the way. I would never. But what if your husband got you a vacuum and said, look, it'll make you clean so much more efficiently? Because
I would ask for a vacuum, actually. Like the vacuum we have 3 vacuums, and the only one I actually like is the one we have on our first floor. But I hate taking it up to the second floor, and I hate having the big vacuum that you have to plug in.
yeah.
We have like a really nice Dyson one on the first floor. And we have an iRobot named George.
Oh, just let the iRobot do it then. Just
Yeah,
get
but
two
it
of them.
doesn't go. It like can't go under the couch because the couch has like a charger that's
Nobody
connected
sees
to-
under the couch.
Oh,
Just don't
I
look under
do.
there.
All the pet fur. You have pets. It's like all over.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've wanted like a secondary one up there, so that would actually make me happy.
Mhm.
But if I didn't ask for it, yeah, that would be a little insulting.
I could say that if my wife said that, oh, I'm your Christmas present, like hell you are. I demand a present. What is this shit?
I
already
love
bought the
this kind
freaking
of
farm.
honesty. That's how it should be. Like, I like that. F you. Get me a present. You have 24 hours.
We were supposed to be getting each other gifts. You can't just wrap yourself up. I see you naked every day.
We're past that phase, you know?
Yeah,
So-
that is not the prize anymore. I'm not trying to get in your pants. I expected something good. I mean, I'd say some
Good.
stupid shit. I'd say some stupid shit like that. I'm just
Of course you would.
oh, it would not be meant to be derogatory, but it would come off that way. Surely it would. Anyway, I'm not a perfect man. I've never pretended to be.
Far from it, in fact.
Very far from it.
Just kidding.
we love the honesty.
All right, so his gift, they're going to meet from Canada. All right, trip was expensive but worth it. We had talked about going to meet her a few times, though it was a better way as she has a lot of anxiety. That's a red flag. And health issues. Could that be red flag number 2? That would make it much harder for her, especially in this current political climate. I don't know what he means by that. I do know what he means. Well, that trip happened this weekend. I'm currently typing this out from my hotel room. By the way, this post is like a couple days old, which I've spent the vast majority of my time here alone in. The main issue, the trip to see her started off how I expected. I don't know how the city at all. It's a country I've only been to a few times. I was nervous myself, took a 40-minute Uber to my hotel, and expected by the time I got there that she would have worked out her nerves and been ready to meet me. This guy watches too much porn. Unfortunately, her anxiety was extra bad. It took her another 2 hours to work up the courage to drive 5 minutes to come see me. This didn't bother me. I knew it'd be rough, and I'm a patient dude for the most part. I'd say he's pretty patient because I would have already been like on to the next thing. I would just like, well, I guess she ain't here. She ain't coming. Fuck it. Let's go to the bar. Let's go do something else. We met. She was shaking and bawling her eyes out. Jesus.
Wow.
Do you think she has like an anxiety disorder or something?
Probably.
I should be asking Lauren 90 this question.
Yeah.
But overall, it was great. Some hugs. We drove to. Have you ever seen that like a TLC show? Like these people that like have never like kissed anybody, and then they like try to work up the courage to kiss people, and then like they film the act and they're like eating each other's face, and it's like, what in the fuck?
I did not know you were on a show on TLC.
I totally was. No, I was not.
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, there's this YouTube clip about this guy, and it was just like walked with the girl, starts eating on her face. It's like Jesus, and it was like her wedding ceremony. It's like, look, we all fight our personal battles, man. They're just different, is all. They're just different. It's a big universe out there. Be kind to folks. You never know what they're going through. She was shaking. She was bawling her eyes out. Overall, it was great. Some hugs. We drove to her place. She lives with her brother. I was able to meet him. We chilled out for a little while. Her anxiety was still through the roof, so we didn't actually do much for the next couple of hours. She wanted to drive around and show me some stuff, but couldn't. Eventually, she decided I should probably Uber back instead of her driving me. Next morning, I was up extra early. She usually works nights, so I figured she wouldn't be up for a bit. Not knowing the city, I chose to stay in and wait till she was awake. 4 hours later, she messaged me. We talk for a bit, and she tells me she's not quite ready to see me, as the nerves are still there. Could you guys put yourself in this guy's shoes as like a female? And like, what level of patience do you have at this point?
Are they just banging?
They haven't even hugged, I don't think. Because she's like too anxiety riddled to do anything.
I mean, maybe I'd try to help him out as a friend and look for like a romantic partner elsewhere.
Okay, but like you got to keep in mind too, you're probably socially awkward yourself because you're entertaining her as a romantic partner or him as a romantic partner.
Well, I'm obviously not socially awkward, so I don't know what to tell you, Omar.
I'm just saying, let's just assume your options are limited. I mean, it's hard to put, I don't know. Okay, Anita, what do you have to say to this?
I cannot imagine it. Like, I'm trying. I try to visualize. I'm trying to see like what would be the reason. And
When I was socially awkward, you know what I did? I felt like I was socially awkward throughout my entire teenage years. There was really only one way to deal with it. And the way that I dealt with it was to just go balls out. Just fucking go for it, man. The worst thing's going to happen is they're going to say no. You're just going to have to deal with it. I learned a lot of hard lessons that way. I remember the first time I walked up, I was like maybe the second or third day of my freshman year of high school. And I walked up to this senior. And she was like the freaking prom queen, man. I mean, I don't know if she's the prom queen, but she was like on a scale of 10, she was like a 10 out of 10. Like everybody would have put her like in the movies or whatever. And my stupid little ass at 14 years old was so ballsy. It's like, oh my God, I've never seen anybody like that. I must have her. And so I walked up to her at the end of the day. It was in journalism class. It's like, hey, I'm Omar. Would you like to be my girlfriend? And you know what her answer to me was? She's like, She was laughing at me. It's like, you don't even know who I am. It's like, but I know you're pretty. And I know that I want you to be my girlfriend. She's like, oh, you're a little young for me. I was rejected. I don't even remember the rest of the conversation, but I was full out rejected, man. And there was just, I learned some lessons. You can't just walk up to pretty girls and expect anything to happen. You got to have a better plan than, do you want to be my girlfriend? It was a hard lesson, but it was a necessary lesson, is all I'm saying. And that's the way you learn how to talk to girls, through like many, many, many failures. Because boys, trial and error, boys' version of how to talk to women is stupid. The only way they're going to grow out of it is by putting themselves out there and failing over and over and over again until you find something that works. And so this guy, I'd imagine he's talking to the girl. He doesn't have any of that. He has no point of reference. He's really just winging it at this point. And really kind of so is she. And I'm really starting to think that she might have a social anxiety disorder, but I don't have my good friend Lauren 90 to tell me any better. So I'm just going to proceed on my own proclivities. So, not knowing the city I chose to stay in and wait till she's awake, 4 hours later, she messaged me. We talk for a bit. She tells me she's not quite ready to see me. The nerves are still there. That's fine. Found a drugstore in walking distance. I pick up some stuff. What do you think he picked up?
Syphilis.
Was it like, I was going to say like condoms, like the Magnum XXLs, because
they're going to slip right off.
What a Dungeons and Dragons player doesn't think that they fit those, you know?
Tranquilizers or something. I don't know what it is. Like, just a killer.
Like the Rhino 777 whatevers, you know, with the
essential oils.
Essential oils? Maybe some lube, but not like the normal kind, like the super weird kind.
No, like peace and calming.
Yeah.
Now he's the weird one.
He didn't get the normal lube. He got the flavored lube, like the strawberry flavored.
Eggplant flavored.
Gross. What the fuck?
Because it's a weakness.
Okay. I'm aware. I don't think he would want to taste that.
That'd be
Never mind.
funny though, right?
It would be pretty funny, you know. Eggplant
like buttered and
flavored
How
lube.
did you get
like,
to
salted
eggplant
and
out of
peppered.
all the flavors? Sorry. Just like
That was Schnitzel. That was not me. That was her.
It's like the penis emoji.
Butternut
Oh,
squash
yeah.
flavored condoms. You guys are gross.
Chicken noodle soup.
Oh,
Chocolate truffle.
I don't think those are sexy flavors. Is all I'm saying.
this is how married people describe sex. This is literally-
This is exactly how married folks describe sex.
I'm thinking of the weirdest, the weirdest ones.
Oh, okay. He says he picks up. So fast forward about 2 hours later, and I finally get back to her place. She doesn't eat anything. Tells me her brother, her, and myself are going to a get together and hang out with a bunch of their friends. That's cool. I asked her how long we'll be there, and she said, a few hours. We leave. It's about an hour drive. Every one of her friends was great. Super welcoming. She seemed really happy to introduce me as her boyfriend. Little party lasts a good portion of the night. We don't talk much as I'm usually getting bounded by her friends. What the fuck does bounded mean? Or she's playing a game or something. Hounded, does he mean? It's around 10 when we go to leave. Still plenty of night left, I figured. She tends to be up till 3 or 4 in the morning, so I was pretty pumped to get to spend the rest of the night together. However, as we get in the car, she asks her brother if it's cool that she takes me to the hotel before they go home. He says, yeah. I just get to sit in shock the whole way back, and she's too drained and to spend a couple of hours of quality time with her boyfriend she just met. And at this point, it's all starting to catch up to me. I'm feeling pretty bad. I don't know what he was obviously expecting to bang. How else could you interpret his version of events? He wants to spend quality time together. It's very clear to me that he's expecting to have
I don't
sex.
even know. I don't know if it's even banging, but even kissing or like physical touch of any type.
Or like a hand job or something, or like
Maybe.
Maybe just like an extended cuddle session.
Could be.
Maybe.
I love the P and the V.
Like maybe the P and the V
Possible.
just touch but not interact, you know?
Isn't touching interacting?
No.
Mm.
It doesn't count.
Are you
They're still
interacting with a touch screen if you touch it?
I don't think so. What the fuck does that even mean?
That means if you like touch a touch like an iPad.
No, I don't think that's the same. What are we even talking about?
I'm just
Anita,
saying.
what do you have to say about all of this?
I don't think he was
I
just
am
trying
processing
to.
your conversations. I'm new here, okay? Just give me a few
It takes a couple minutes.
I
to
forgot the story. I'm trying to decipher your.
Oh, by the way, Anita, welcome to FLAD.
Okay, thank you. This
And
is quite
apologies.
fun. No. I like this. I like weird.
Oh, yeah, we get pretty weird in here.
So he's upset that she wants to take him back without spending
Yeah.
time together. So
Right, whatever his version of that is.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna leave off. I message her. Okay, I get back to the hotel room. I'm confused by this whole trip. I'm alone in a hotel room in a country I don't know. It's in Canada, buddy. It's not all that different from the States. Within my girlfriend, or with my girlfriend a few minutes away. I don't know. Is Canada all that different from the States? Like at its core? I mean, I know that it is. I know that it is.
in your mentally, it's if he is also socially awkward, he's like, I'm far away from home. Like I don't know anyone here. You know.
Yeah, he's going. All right, he's going through something. He's not knowing what to do. What the hell is going on? I fear messaging her about it is going to make her anxiety worse. But at this point, I don't know what to do. So I'm set to meet her mom. Her mom.
Okay.
I feel like it's a trap. Get out, kind of thing.
Jesus Christ. Okay, this is a serious question.
Maybe the mom has been catfishing him, and the daughter was like, "Okay, fine, I'll go along with it."
I know that they've been talking for years online, but like to meet the parents right away.
That's weird.
Obviously,
He's interacted more with the family than her at this point.
The only person I'm taking to meet my family is somebody that I'm interested in marrying. And I'm steadfast in that. I was steadfast in that before we got married. It's just the rules. Why would you bring like some random chick to your mom's house?
I brought a lot of guys home. I was like, well, this is who I'm dating now, and I'm coming home for a visit. So you're going to meet Josh.
See, but
You're welcome.
If my daughters were to do that, I'd be like, hey, so I know that you're all here, but I just want you to know that you kind of look like a bitch compared to the last guy she brought over. Away.
You know what my dad said?
What did he say?
This was a guy in my undergrad, and I was out, like, I don't know, doing yard work with my mom, like she was planting flowers or something. And my dad said to this guy, hey, you see that? That's what you got to look forward to.
That is a perfect dad thing to say, though. That's what it's going to look like in 30 years, buddy. So
Yep.
Take yourself a gander. Soak it all in. That's your future, bitch. You've been warned. That is valid dad thing to say, man. I'm not even mad at you. That's brilliance. That's brilliance. That's taking advantage of the opportunity.
It is, as he always does.
All right, so this guy, he's wondering what's going on. He fears Messenger is going to make the anxiety worse. He's going to meet her mom. So I message her that. She's very apologetic, saying her anxiety is through the roof still. She wanted to make this trip worth it for me, but she's just drained. She makes an effort to let me know she is still very interested in everything, but she knows if we're alone together, nothing would happen because she's just too nervous. She hasn't been in a relationship in a couple of years, so it's hard for her. I tell her I don't even want to try anything intimate if that was her fear. I've barely hugged her after this trip, and there's a lot more steps in that process before anything like that could happen. I just want to spend some quality time together. She said tomorrow after I meet her mom, there will probably be time. I got to ask you girls this question because I don't know. But is there an occasion where you're just reticent to meet a guy because you think that if you meet the guy, he's gonna want to have sex, and you ain't down for that today, man? For whatever reason, it doesn't matter what the reason is. You're just not down, and you don't want to be put in that position. Like, is that like a normal? I know that it's a normal thing that happens. I'm just curious about your girl's perspective.
Take it away, Anita.
I say no. I mean, but that's again, it's a depends. Like if it's somebody I met online, it's the first time. I would just clarify the though, just in a fly. No funky business or something like that. You just,
no funny business, bitch. Don't even try it. Don't try it.
Did I say funky? Yes,
you said funky.
I like that too.
That's marriage. That's that letter gets switched. But so yeah, you just mention it.
Don't get it twisted. There ain't nothing going on down here.
Yeah, I remember that girl. She was a hoe. For show.
I'm just saying. You've been warned. So
You've been warned.
I mean, she could have just said, "Then look, I just want you to know, and I want you to try anything. You want to hang out with me, then we're going to be friends." But is it just like reticence that she just doesn't trust that a guy is going to be able to restrain himself?
So have they talked in their chats online about like, oh, I want to do this and that with you. Like, wait till we're together to do this. And then it becomes reality that they're going to be together. And then she's like, oh my God, like I'm not ready for any of that stuff. And then she's like getting all in her head.
How old are these folks?
See, they act like they're like 16.
29. I know.
Oh God.
From all the posts that you've read, I don't know, you've read 3, 4.
This
what
is
I'm
the
missing
4th.
is communication. Like people have these thoughts, like just it can be solved with a question.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Bruce would say. You know what's missing? They need to talk to each other and just be honest about their feelings. It's like, yeah, but that's boring to just say that and just leave it at that. Like it's more fun to explore the 4 corners of the issue.
Well, obviously they're not communicating, so it's
what
like,
if he was a psychopath? He went and then he got scared. There you go. They're just.
I'm not even sure they would even know the first place to start to communicate with each other. They're acting like a couple of children.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to continue, she knows if we're alone together that nothing would happen because she's too nervous. She hasn't been in a relationship in a couple of years, so it's hard for her. I tell her I don't even want to try anything intimate. I've barely hugged her. A lot more steps. She said tomorrow after I meet her mom, there will probably be time. So all that said, today's my last day here. I leave early tomorrow morning on a flight. I feel like this whole thing has been a waste. And I'm still just confused. I wanted to spend quality time with her, not sit on a hotel room alone for most of my trip. In my mind, she would want to be with me every waking moment of this trip. Our time is short. We've talked about it for ages, like that was going to be the case. I don't know if the relationship can last. Well, that's kind of drastic. Okay, I can't emphasize this enough. For all of the men out there, what I observe as an older guy, I'm 44 years old, is there is a dearth of willingness for men to put them outside of their comfort zone and risk things. This is clearly a guy, and this is kind of the end result of that, who's 29 years old, that's never put himself out into relationships, never risked failure, never asked out the prom queen, never asked out anybody, never experienced adversity in relationships, and he's still wondering about how things are supposed to go as if he's like 13. The end result of not taking risk as a man or a woman for that regard is this kind of a relationship. And you kind of get what you get, and everybody else is kind of moved on and developed except for you. You were socially undeveloped because you feared adversity. You feared what? Failure? You're going to ask out this girl. What's the worst going to happen? She's going to say no. Yeah, that's it. And you'll still be alive. There's a lot of other pretty girls in the sea. And by the way, she's like 14, 15 years old. There's like a million others of those. Wait till you see what happens when she's like 20 years later. I had that, like my high school sweetheart that dumped me my senior year of high school. She was like a year older than me. She was in college. She dumped me because she was going to college. And I got dumped. And I looked at her like she was my high school sweetheart. And you know what happened? Like we came back together when we were like 33, 34 years old. And we were both a little bit older, and I was a little bit wiser and experienced the world in ways that she hadn't experienced the world. And when I came back to her, and she was not the same thing that I remembered. She was freaking weird. I was not even attracted to her. She was just not what I would normally go for. She was a pretty girl and all, but like personality wise, it was just, there was something weird about her, and it creeped me out. And it taught me this lesson. Like, look, whatever you think is the thing when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, is flawed, because how in the F do you know what is the thing? You don't even know what the thing looks like. You wait until you're 25, 28, 30 years old, 35 years old, 40 years old. And then after having seen a bunch of imperfect individuals cross your path, you figure out what the thing is. And guess what? It's different for everybody. And because this young man has not taken any chances in his personal life, he's stuck here at the whims of this socially anxious, possibly personality disorder lady, because he doesn't think or have the confidence they could get anybody better. Look, it doesn't matter what you look like as a man. You could be overweight, you could be pudgy, you could be fluffy. There's literally a comedian that's out there. His name is Fluffy. And let me tell you, he probably gets more supermodels than any of you, including myself. I mean, I'm married, of course. I'm just saying. He has no trouble meeting women is what I'm getting at. He's found out who he is. He knows what it feels like to be rejected. It is so important to get your ass kicked in life. It's so important to be rejected in life. Yeah. It's so important to put yourself out there.
Important lessons to learn from it.
Yeah, if you don't ever do that, you're not going to develop, man. And just, you're missing out on the fruits of life. Mm-hmm. If you just like live in this cocoon and you're just like constantly fed all of like the best food and all the best everything, and you don't have to ever work hard at anything, then you are missing out on all the good stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. It's true what they say. You start growing when you step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And so here is this guy who's stepping out of it for the first time at 29, because granted, he's in a different country. And he has no idea how to proceed for no other reason than for the first 29 years of his life, he lived his life in involuntary comfort. In his Dungeons and Dragons world, his World of Warcraft world, his whatever online gaming friends or whatever, never took any chances. He developed some aspects of his personality, but not others. And this is the end result of it. You get what you get. If you really truly want to live life, and you got a really short time to be here, and you go out and you shoot your shot. All of the shots, you got to be Kobe Bryant out there. Sometimes Kobe Bryant would like shoot the ball 50 times, and God damn it, he'd make like 12 of them. But he didn't give it enough, man. He went out there and did the same thing the next game. And most of the time they would go in. Sometimes they wouldn't, whatever. You keep shooting your shots and you see what you could get. You develop as a person. The only way to develop as a human being is through adversity. That doesn't just apply to being a man or a woman. It applies to the dating world. How could you possibly know what you're looking for in a relationship without having a couple of failures under your belt?
Right.
That is my message to this young man. I think that is a good time to end this episode of FLAD. What do y'all think about that?
Sounds good, man.
Hell yeah. Anita, I got to give you a shout out, man. I know that it's like 4 a.m. where you're at or something like that, or pretty close to it. Thank you so much for...
yeah, it's almost 5.
Jesus Christ. For hanging out with us. I really appreciate you coming up with your Blake Lively theory. It's really good. I'm not even bullshitting you when I tell you that it's solid. Like there's merit behind it.
Thank
you. I was blown away by the use of the word retaliation in point 10 of her 17-point thing. That was really good.
By the way, and fun fact, that law was passed actually in November 2023. It was fresh new and it was in effect. No, it was brought up and then it was passed January 1st. But anyway, yeah.
That was good stuff. I genuinely appreciate. I appreciate you did really well on FLAD. Some people come on FLAD and like they just flame out, but you did really well. I'm
Yeah,
really
you're
impressed.
great. I'd have to
Oh,
check out your
thank
guys' video.
Yeah,
Thank
I hope
you.
I hope you come back in subsequent weeks. You're welcome at any time. I just want you to know that.
Okay, just let me know.
Yeah, maybe next time you come on, it won't just be me, the only male voice amongst the panel. We'll have others.
This was good. This was a good start.
This
Baby
was-
steps. That was great. Thank you for the lovely conversation.
All right, folks. Well, you guys. Oh, I got one
night.
super chat. Aquanetta says, "I love FLAD. Heart with the 5. Thank you so much, lady. We love you too. And I hope you guys stay safe this weekend. Have a wonderful weekend, but definitely stay safe. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. And if you get in some trouble, give me a call. Don't talk to the cops. And have yourself a good weekend. Love you all. Bye-bye.